black and lonely bird, won't you be mine? One, two, one, two, three, Wasn't all in life like any other you'd seen. The light of love along those streets with me. I throw a full and read from inside. Time to play for life, no matter what you hide. Oh, you can fight the good fight like a man. Times like these, they take too much. All we have to show is so much love.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Venture Day. Track Dogs, thank you so much for your live performance. We look forward to seeing you more later. So, my name is Alex. I am a current Masters in Management student.
Hello everyone, I'm Mai. I'm in Masters in Visual and Digital Media.
And we're going to be your companions for this amazing Venture Day at IE Business School. Today is all about celebrating the best ventures of the season. There have been over 100 startups, and even though we wish we'd be able to show you all of them, today we'll be hearing pitches from the ones that shone the brightest.
But before we get started, we are going to hear the introductory note from a very special person. He has been with IE for more than a decade now. He is the chairman of IE's Innovation Center and the VP of Finance. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the stage Mr. Juan Jose.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and welcome to the 25th edition of Venture Days Madrid. In the last 12 years, Venture Lab, and the conclusion of Venture Lab, which is Venture Day, as every one of you know, have seen 2,556 startups, teams, around 10,000 people making the teams of these startups. And I want you to join me in giving a big hand to someone who knows the names of all the team members of these startups. Carmen Corrais, ven, por favor, un momento. So Carmen Corrais is the most senior member of the team of the Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation, not because she is the oldest, she is not, but she has seen everything that happened in the last 12 years and even before with the Center for Entrepreneurship. And I asked her before, what's her personal price for this intake of the Venture Lab? Do you think about it? el equipo más simpático y agradable de todos son simpaticísimos y agradables, es...
No puedo. No puedo decir ninguno, son todos especiales.
She feels like a mom of all the member teams, and she cannot choose among children. Thank you very much, Carmen. A big hand for Carmen. Well, this event is sort of graduation of your entrepreneurship journey, and somehow is the cherry of the that you put on top of the ice cream, the cake, whatever you want to call it. But before we came here this evening, a lot of things happened in the last month. A lot of people worked to make it happen, including 70 fellows. You know that the Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation has now a team of 70 fellows. 7 of them are here, making it happen. So please, join me. Join me, all the fellows, come on, all the fellows. You too. All the fellows. So they do an amazing job. We simply couldn't do everything we do along the academic year without the support of these fellows joining us tonight to organize this Venture Day, but many other things, Venture Days, research, support to the teams and everything. So they do it because they like it, because they like entrepreneurship, because they like to give their time to a university and to contribute to create an amazing community of entrepreneurs. Thank you very much. And with them, a lot of mentors, members of the jury who have been mentors during the last months, last years, many of you, and of course, last but not least, the teams that made the Venture Day, Venture Lab before, and then the finals of the Venture Day. Thank you very much. This is your day. This is a day in which all the I community, oh, Mike, I forgot about you. So Mike is a new member of the community, please. Mike Grandinetti is not new for IE. He has joined us many times before, including our operations in Baku and many other countries, and since many years ago, part of the IE community. So Mike, I've heard that you had the chance of mentoring some of the teams of the Venture Lab, right?
I did indeed.
Please, come. Share with us what you think about that. Come on.
Oh my God.
Because this guy mentors teams from MIT or Harvard and some of the best universities in the world. So I didn't talk to him before. And Nick told me that.
This is from my heart. So you'll hear a little bit more about my background later, but I've been involved in entrepreneurship for 25 years as a co-founder, as a professor, and I've mentored teams and judged at MIT, at Harvard, at Berkeley, at Brown. And I was not prepared for the level of excellence that I saw on Tuesday. I spent 6 hours with the 11 finalists, 30 minutes per team, and the quality, the consistency of the quality of the 11 teams was remarkable. So IE doesn't have to answer to anyone when it comes to entrepreneurship. You guys will pull your weight in any ecosystem against any university, anywhere in the world, and that is from here. You guys were amazing.
Thank you very much, Mike. But this is not kind words for iUniversity. These are the best words to introduce what is coming, what we celebrate today, which is entrepreneurship. Congratulations. Give a big hand to the teams that are going to participate tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Juan Antonio, for such an inspiring speech. Now, who is ready to hear from some of our startups? No, one more time, come on. Who is ready to hear from some of our startups? Much better, thank you very much. So, coming up first, we have the first runner-up round. These startups will be giving a 1-minute pitch. Very important on the 1-minute pitch. Judges, please pay great attention. Remember their names, as you'll definitely want to talk to them for some cocktails later on. Once again, we will be very strict on time, so please make sure you stick to the 1-minute time limit. You really don't want me interrupting your amazing presentations. So, without further ado, let's get started. Our first startup recognizes the increasing need of digitalization into our world. And they do so in an industry which often gets overlooked, the healthcare industry. Please give it up for Chasm. Or hourly, right?
Hello, hello. There we go. Hello, everyone. Today, I would like to introduce you to Chasm, a groundbreaking software-as-a-service platform which is focusing on digitalizing the maintenance of hospitals and their medical devices. As we are basically building on top of already existing legacy systems of each hospital, we are basically a plug-and-play solution through which we can streamline operations and foster communication between the key stakeholder of that segment. By actually connecting healthcare administrators, vendors, as well as technicians, we are able to connect and actually completely revolutionize the supply chain of medical maintenance. But not only that. As we are sitting right at the source, we're actually able to gain all that information about medical data, and through that, we're becoming a knowledge base for maintenance insights. And based on that, we are able to offer troubleshooting and predictive maintenance. If you're interested to know more, feel free to come afterwards. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Chasm, for such a great pitch. Now, our next startups makes me wish I'd have moved to Madrid a little bit earlier so that I can take advantage of their services and make a little bit more money while studying. Please welcome to the stage, Hourly.
Hello. Test. Hi, can I ask you a question? Do you like making money? I like making money. So when I was a student back in the days, again, I was looking for a part-time jobs, and I found 3 issues. 1, it was hard to find. 2, it was inflexible with my student schedule. And 3, the payments were under the table, so never guaranteed.
So we wanted to see if this is a real problem and found out that actually 87% of students rely on referrals for gig work. And on the flip side, for SMEs, an unfilled position can cost them around $20,000 a month.
So this is why we wanted to bridge the gap between students and SMEs by creating Hourly. So it's essentially a flexible platform for low-skilled gig work.
Think of it as Tinder, but for students, where they can easily swipe through low-skilled, pay-per-hour gig work, such as scanning tickets for an event.
So together, we are 30 partners and 100 still on our waiting list.
And together, we are Hourly. I'm Garima.
I'm Alexia.
And we're here to monetize your time.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Hourly. And please sign me up already because these drinks are really putting a dent in my pocket every weekend. Thank you. Coming up next, we got a startup which you really want to keep on your radar. If you're a clothing shopaholic like me, please drop your bags of clothes with them and they'll take care of the rest. Let's hear it up for Thrifty.
Hi, what's up? So I guess I'm the only lawyer talking here today, and you may be asking why. So give me 1 minute of your time and I'll explain. We are all aware that the way we buy clothes nowadays is unsustainable. We have much more clothes than the one we use. And yes, we all know about Vinted, but don't you feel guilty when you still don't sell your clothes or give them away? Well, don't worry, amigo. That happened to me also. This is why in Thrifty, we will take care of all of the we will manage the entire sales and purchase process from the moment that we collect your clothes to the moment that we sell them in pop-ups or charity events. But is that it? Well, of course not. We also want companies to improve their image by promoting sustainable consumption. How, you may ask? Well, by organizing exchange events for their employees where the remaining clothes will be donated to a charity chosen by the company. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Right on time. And I really hope you take Zara because my wardrobe is bursting at the seams. Coming up next, we all know just how difficult transport and logistics have become in an increasingly globalized world. However, our next startup seems to have the magic bullets. Please welcome to the stage, Transport.
Did you know? In Spain, you order a truck and it arrives the next day. However, in India, companies wait on average 5 to 7 days for the truck to arrive. This leads to slow processes and high cost inefficiencies. As well as transporters in India heavily rely on intermediaries, which creates higher operating costs for them. And this mismatch between demand and supply leads to a significant amount of empty miles. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is where we come in. We are Transport and we make it easy. Transport is an AI and data-driven technological platform that connects vendors and transporters in a cost and time-efficient manner. We are like Uber for cargo in India. And this is our passionate team. Harsh, our CEO, has previous experience in the logistics sector in India. Ashim, our CTO, who has worked in app development in the Middle East. And me, the co-founder, who has experiences in business analytics and management and strategy. So ask yourself, do you want to be part of the next logistic revolution in India?
Thank you so much. Right on time again. And I really wish I could deal with the same complexity that they do. Speaking of complexity, our next startup addresses all the needs that us international students have probably had at one point, moving to Madrid. Without further ado, please give a round of applause to Easy Move.
Well, hello everyone. As you can see here, Madrid is full of international students. Concretely, more than 150,000. But all these students, and not only Madrid, face the same problem when they want to move to our country. The chaos and the lack of clear information regarding all the procedures that they need to do. So that's where we come in. We're Easy Move. We're a startup that has developed a platform that wants to make students' life easier. We have automatized all this process so that students can do all the paperwork in a matter of minutes. We've started in Madrid, and our scope is national, but with your help, we'll hope it'll become international. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Easy Move. Very short and concise. Coming up next, we have a company that will hopefully serve as your one-stop shop for all your wellness solutions. Please give it up for Livium.
I'm gonna guesstimate that the average age here is 35 years old, which means that we have like 45 more years to live. And what if I told you that by the time we are 60, or like in 20 years average, most of us, 95% of us, are gonna suffer from a debilitating chronic disease that is gonna affect us mentally, emotionally, professionally. Your goals are going to be affected by that, because since you're here, I'm guessing you're a person that has many goals for those years. So, I'm sorry, I kept listening myself in, like...
No worries. Let's reset the clock, come back off stage, and run it one more time. Round of applause for her, please.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you so much.
I hear myself back, and it sounds horrible.
If you just turn your mic off, and I'll pass on her mic, would that be okay?
I'm sorry. Okay. I'm going to guesstimate that the average age here is 35 years old. So it means we have 45 more years to live. And since you're here, I'm guessing you're somebody that has a lot of goals for those years. But what if I told you that in average 20 years, 95% of us are going to suffer from a debilitating chronic disease that is going to affect us mentally, emotionally, physically? What's going to happen to those goals then? Every day that we are not controlling the factors that affect our well-being, we are letting them control us. And I know you're taking care of your health somehow, but, sorry. I know you're taking care of your health somehow. Sorry. I can't.
Lovely. So we're going to be hearing from Relivium one final time at the very end. One final round of applause for her, please. Thank you very much. Next up, approaching the end of our first runner-up round. I know, very sad. We have a startup that, as a creative, is very near and dear to my heart. They are focusing on bringing the arts at the center of what connects us. Whether you're looking for an inspiration or a small escape into the wonderland, they've got you covered. Please give a round of applause to Muse Group and Company.
Hello. Today, the art world faces two major issues: the constant search for new art to enjoy and the demand for having striking conversations regarding art. Muse has two main features that unite the art world. First is an open AI-generated recommendation sections that cross-references the profiles of the users, and second, our coffee tables. The special set of forums allocated under each shared artwork where the community can enter, share their opinion, interact, and strengthen their connections. The rising demand for augmented connections that are more meaningful, as well as the demand for personal, fulfilling, and ethical platforms are what make Muse the perfect opportunity for today's social media. In a sentence, our pursuit with Muse is to create a loyal community that enjoys a quality product with convenience. We already observe users trying to combine...
I'm very, very sorry. You're 1 minute
That's fine. Okay. We're looking forward to grow with you, and please find us in the cocktail session. Thank you.
I didn't make the rules. I'm just enforcing them. Round of applause to Muse Group and Company. Now, our last startup for this round is a company that addresses a very pressing need in our world. We all know just how important sustainability is for both consumers and businesses. This next company is looking to place sustainability at the top of our minds. Please give a warm welcome to NetZ.
Ladies and gentlemen, today I stand before you as the co-founder of NetZ, a platform destined to help us and transform how we shop. In Spain, 66% of people desire to buy sustainable products and services, but only a third actually do. Price, lack of visibility, limited understanding of impact are the barriers they meet. NetZ breaks through these barriers and empowers consumers by helping them understand which companies are sustainable or not, and a cashback reward system that makes accessible sustainability to all. 2 weeks ago, we have been selected as one of the top 3 startups at the Climate Launchpad. And we're glad to represent Spain at the international final in October. Thank you very much.
Thank you, NetZ. As a consumer who tries to purchase more sustainable products, I'm very excited for this. Okay, so now we're done with our first round of runner-ups. But before we start with the second round, we have our fireside chat by Annick Janssens, Director of Venture Lab and Venture Network at IE Business School, and Amir Kaplan, the co-founder of ifeel. Amir is also the dream success story of any entrepreneur. As a lot of you may know, a few years ago, Amir and his amazing team won Venture Lab for developing ifeel, and now ifeel has treated more than 1 million patients. Together, Annick and Amir will now talk about mental health care and the power of tech. Let's hear it for them.
Hello, how are you guys doing? Hopefully not too hot, right? I feel like it's a solid 5 degrees less than last year, so you're kind of lucky. I cannot tell you how excited I am. You want to switch? I feel like I got really rude that you're looking against the sun right now.
Nah, it's okay, it's okay.
I cannot be more excited for this fireside chat. I have been chasing Amir for the past 2 years since I started my position, because he squints when somebody says a dream scenario, but I think any student that has gone through Venture Lab right now would want to be in his seat in a few years. So Amir, first of all, thank you for being here in this very cool summer night. Can we start off with that? Like, how did your journey start? Like, if I remember well, you're actually a corporate guy before you entered IE.
Yeah, so first it's great to be here, see many faces that I know for many years. The main thing is before I came to Madrid and to IE, I was in finance. I worked at KPMG, and I worked with big corporate companies, but I always felt like a side to the business, a side to driving growth, because as a consultant in general, you are external to, you can give your view, you can give your opinion, but you don't impact dramatically results at the end of the day. So I knew I needed a change, and I wanted to go to study in London. I was raised in London, and then my wife said, we're going to a sunny place. Maybe she didn't mean today, maybe, but in general she said, we're going to Spain. So I started at IE actually with the knowledge that I want a big change. I didn't know what, I didn't know how, I didn't know how it will end, but I knew I really wanted a change, not to try to look back for a job at the corporate life after, which is good for many things. I have nothing against it, but I really wanted to change. And then the first semester, I remember we had no idea, nothing, but I found a team. And actually, Martin and Gabriele, my co-founders, were in my class, and we built the team before we had any idea and something we cared about enough. Now, during the startup, we started Startup Lab. I think we were at the first Startup Lab at that time, and we started building, and I had passion to this topic. Martin, my co-founder, also had passion. My wife didn't fly for 5 years because of anxiety, and actually the first flight she did after 5 years was to Madrid when we came to live here. So I was passionate about this topic and about the impact it could bring, and at that time, I know it sounds unbelievable today because there are many companies doing it, but at that time there were maybe 3 big companies in the US, and outside the US there were almost no companies in online mental health or any solution in that space. And then we went to Venture Lab, and it gave us more time to think, work on our idea a bit more. And the good thing is we were all really determined, no matter what, to test if after the MBA we can do something. We had no idea because you finish Venture Lab, you finish the MBA.
When did that switch? Because I think Martin, one of his co-founders and also an IE alum, so of course you guys were passionate, but when does that change from like, okay, this went from student project to like, we're not going to apply for jobs and we're going to do this after Venture Lab?
So I think in Venture Lab, we started to have it clear. You gain some momentum. We talked to clients, potential clients. We knew it will be a big thing, but at that time, there were many barriers. You know, we had no idea what will happen. But what we did know is we have a very strong team together. We were very close. We became friends, and we really wanted to work together. So a lot of the passion was to the area, to the space, and to the team. We had no idea it could be a business, zero idea at that time. And then the nice thing is we all decided, let's give it 5 months after the MBA. If not, we'll go for a regular job. And we actually, I remember we had the MBA, we had the graduation night, you know, everyone parties, but 2 or 3 days after the graduation, we were in the basement already working and thinking about it.
By the basement, you mean the beautiful Area 31?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And it was a shock for us because everyone graduated. No one from your intake was there. No one.
They tend to be in Ibiza after graduation.
Yes, yeah. I didn't let my co-founders have fun at that time. No, I'm joking. And then you understand that you are not alone because you have support, and the people at IE were supportive. We had great friends and people I trust that were very supportive always. But you are alone at the end, and then you realize you need to start doing something real for yourself. And after 5 or 6 months, we started finding the first funding. We had a prototype, and from that it started rolling, I would say.
So you said when you started there wasn't a lot of competition out there. Right now, if I type in psychologist in Google, whether I get AI bots recommended to me versus online FaceTime services, how do you differentiate yourself in a market that is so popular right now? And luckily so, I think it's very important that we all take care of our mental health and that we start being more open about it. But how are you guys pivoting in that? How are you guys setting yourself apart?
Yeah, so think now to raise money and talking about competition. It's even more complicated than that. But actually we found a very, very great niche. There are many endpoint solutions in this space. We all know mindfulness apps, Headspace, Calm, sleeping apps. There are psychologist tools, but we created a very cool ecosystem that connects through APIs to insurance companies, to employers, to many companies. And by solving that with having all the endpoint solutions on the ifeel platform, we actually found a very key differentiating point versus competitors, even from the US.
So your client base is because you rolled out in Spain, right? Were your clients in
the first was in Spain, yeah.
How quickly did you scale internationally, and how was technology in part of that?
Yeah, so we started in B2C because in our space, not because I think it's a better business model, but in our space you need to gain traction, especially in health. You have to gain traction before anyone talks to you. So in B2C we could just spend our investors' money a bit, on marketing, and it's very easy to get the first clients. And that's a great way also to get the first clients and learn. So we started in B2C. We got to, in a year and a half, to 400,000 users or something very big. And then we understood that for the long term, it's not super profitable. Mm-hmm. So we could continue raise money, spend marketing money, but it's not sustainable like B2C in our space too much. And then we shifted to companies, employers, and then later insurance companies. So now today, that's our whole focus. Like, we believe in general that accessibility in our space won't be people paying from their pocket. Actually, it's a big barrier in mental health. So that's why we're breaking it through people, that there is a monetary value for them to give mental health, but the end client doesn't need to pay for it.
Okay, so you've pivoted a few times, which as a good entrepreneur, you know that has to happen always, whether you're doing something wrong or something right. Pivoting will be a part of your journey. So you pivoted from B2C to B2B. You've been using different technologies. Right now, it's from AI, ChatGPT, all these metaverse, like I've heard it all. I see a lot of startups having the job that I have. How are you pivoting in that way? How are you pivoting with the new technologies are coming up? Are you adapting to it? Do you see it as competition? What's ifeel doing with that? Yeah, so anyone, I think, with a technology company in the last 5-6 years went through Web3, tokenization, AI, so much things. Some of them for us were a bit noise, and investors coming and asking you, how are you doing this and that. I can say that in healthcare and AI at least, I think it's going to be a very big change, and we're doing some nice things in that area. But it has to be from a very moral and sensitive place, because first of all, there are many articles now on fast transition, and then people with eating disorders or other areas getting wrong answers. And in our space, it's dangerous, If you type now in ChatGPT, what's the name of a country, or you want regular data, it's not really dangerous. In our space, the risk is high. So we're doing it in a sensible way. Luckily, we started in chat, so anonymized, we have tens of millions of interactions, not related to the people, but related to the topic. And we have useful data to do interesting things with that. And there are many things that we can create efficiencies, but some hype topics like tokenization of companies or Web3 and that, we kind of skipped them and didn't want to lose focus on them. Do you think, whether it's the industry, the market, not sure really what to call that, there's an ethical responsibility there from the players in this industry?
Yeah, I think our role at the end is we have very sensitive and important data. So the first thing we do is separate it from the user. So that's it, you know. You take care of your users, and of course security. We work with insurance companies. You can believe how they bothered us over the years in due diligence and stuff. But if I think of the use of data, I think we have to create efficiencies in order to create accessibility to people in mental health care. And in general, in many areas, you can do a lot with the data, but I think we don't need to ever use it for a marketing reason, you know? For example, to use data of similar people and market it to them. That's why I'm not in B2C, because in B2C there are things a bit like that, and I don't like it. We use it only in order to change this industry to a better position than it is today, which is an industry with lack of personnel. I think all healthcare, but especially our area. So we have a lot to do.
Amazing. I do want to tap in a bit more into the mental health. I know Mike later is going to do a whole tech thing, so don't you worry, guys. We'll go into technology a bit later. I think it's unique. I think mental health care, especially, I'm from the Netherlands, if you can't see that. However, I've lived in many countries, from the US to Spain, and I moved from California to Madrid, and I can tell you, mental health care-wise, that is, in California, they will not shut up about it. And in Madrid, they look at you like you're crazy if you publicly admit that you're seeing a psychologist, whether you have to be detained or something. So how have you seen that? Because I think it's almost a luxury talking about the fact that you have so many competitors and people are dealing with mental health, but is that something you're actually seeing? And the fact that you're doing B2B, how have you seen that transition in mental health that you've been in the last 6 months? Is it growing? Do companies actually care, or is that something just they're ticking off the list? Yeah, so again, we started like pre-pandemic, and I think it's a very strong point in time, I would say. 2017 in the US and UK, it was already a big topic. The problems are the same even today, but the topic was very spoken about, and people felt comfortable to go and talk to a psychologist, and even more managers felt much more comfortable about it. After the pandemic and also remote work today, actually it created so many new problems for managers and people managers that now we see that traditional companies, you know, they were the early adopters. You know, we work with Cabify, we work with Glovo, we work with all these companies here and others across Europe. But they are early adopters, I would say, because they are a technology company, so it's easier for them to roll it out. But now we work with banks, with insurance companies, with pharma companies. So I really see more and more managers understanding the value of giving accessibility to their employees. And at the end, it's a two-sided benefit. I mean, they give so much other things with less value today. So we have a clear space there. Amazing. But it changed a lot, I can say, in Spain, because now managers of very traditional and not only in Spain, by the way, all Europe. In Germany, it's big. In France, it's moving very fast, and the president is talking about mental health. So a lot of countries, Italy, I was there like 2 weeks ago in an event, and the government there, and in Italy it was a big taboo, and the government there is promoting it. So I think it's changing very fast. How does that affect your company? Is the fact that you're such an international company, how do you scale when mental health is so fragmented all over the world and so perceived differently? Does that affect your sales teams or however you acquire and grow? Yeah, so there are countries where things go faster and things are slower, and it's correct. In terms of the culture, it helps a lot, of course. But we actually built centralized system, but decentralized personnel around the world. So it really helps us create operations. Martin, by the way, is in charge of it, that you know. And we have hundreds of people working for us around the world. So actually that helped us, because with the same integration, same technology, you can reach much more people. So you've been at this for about 6 years now, if I counted correctly, 7?
This is the 7th.
What's next for ifeel? If we invite you back in like 5 years or whatever time frame you want to talk about, like where do you want to see ifeel go to?
So I think we are still at maybe 5% penetration of the market in general, not just us. Although there's a lot of noise in our market, actually with real solutions. I'll give you an example, the insurance world, it's less than 1% penetration. And we are playing there with great clients like AXA and Score and others. So there is a lot of work still to do. And our dream is to be as big as we can, you know. Every time we do one step and then we dream a new dream. So now, also with technology, I think we can create efficiencies and solve. We always say that it's clearly a social problem. The question is if it's a business problem. Mm-hmm. And now we see it's a business problem. It took us many years, maybe 3 or 4 years, to clarify to everyone that it's a business problem. So now with technology, we can create much more the business problem.
We have a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs, I think, in the audience. A lot of people have. I think we had 102 teams in Venture Lab this year. I've been told 2 years ago when I started it was 40, so it's quite a lot. What would you say to them? Because I know I saw him squint. He's very annoyed when we call him a dream case, which, sorry, Amir, you still are. I think a lot of people here, they could say like they left a corporate job, came to their MBA, found their co-founders before their idea, and then with a lot of work, because I do want to emphasize that, they didn't just skate through it. I've been talking to them a lot. They had to not pay the founding team. They had to pivot. They had a pandemic. So many things. But if you, and not one thing, we have a couple minutes left. Like, what would you advise them or on this journey? And even non-students. I assume there's also ambitious non-students here in the crowd.
So I think the main thing is to know that the day after you finish, it's in some way real life, you know? It's like I put my kid in the kindergarten and the door closes and he needs to deal with the world. It's the same, like IE is it's a great place to kind of incubate and get the idea and support later, but the most important thing you need to know is no one will give you money for nothing, and it's a fight. So to find a great team, 3 people you can call 24/7 just to ask them a question. This is super important. If you have 3 people when you have a problem you can call, because even today I think maybe 70% of my day is problem solving of all the teams, and it makes sense. So you need people you trust that you can talk to, and I'm lucky to have that, and I think everyone can find people who went that journey or know what you're feeling, because it's very, I mean, I'm in mental health, but actually the founders go through a lot of ups and downs, and the highs are very high and the lows are very low. So I think it's something very important. Someone that when you have a real problem, you just call and he says, okay, let's look at it from another angle, let's talk about it, let's find it. A team is the most important. Like, we are still together, very united, but I know it's about a lot of luck. Like, you cannot plan that, honestly. There was a fit there, but it's very important. And to do it by yourself. Like, it's very important to try and go and sell something, you know. I always say that in the MBA you learn all the topics in the world, but sales is the only topic that will save a company, you know, and it's super important.
Whether you're selling yourself, your products, your company.
Yeah, there are many, but I think the moment you see momentum in sales is the moment I think everything picks up. It could be users, but that's maybe something of 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Today, everyone wants sales. So it's mainly like the day after to commit to it, give it a time frame. If it doesn't work, it's okay, but give it a time frame and try to get to step 1 with co-founders.
Amir, thank you so much. We survived the hot box on the stage over here. Guys, I hope this inspired you. This was an Israeli, an Italian, and a Mexican that just a few years ago was in your seat. So I hope in a couple of years we get to interview someone that is in the public right now. Thank you so much. And I'm going to give it back to the MCs.
That was fun.
All right, thank you, Anik and Amir. It was a pleasure having you guys on stage. I personally found this talk very important because this is the market where my teammates and I want to open our startup. We will tell you more about that, guys, later, by the way. Now, let's start with the second round of runner-ups with startups as interesting as the ones before. Can we give them a round of applause? Okay, so we all know the long and difficult process of buying a house, especially when you need to apply for a loan. Hopefully this next startup solves these struggles. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Credibit to the stage.
Hello, everyone. So 3 years ago, I bought a house the same way as my dad did 40 years ago. As me, 64% of Chileans own a property. But when getting a mortgage loan, only 8% are able to quote with up to 5 financial institutions. We have discovered that banks' initial offer isn't the best one. So we've created a platform that connects people with financial institutions to get them a suitable mortgage loan offer through a bidding system. And we're currently tackling a market of 74 million opportunity.
We have intermediated 2 mortgage loans for a total value of 760,000 euros, with average savings of 41,000 euros. This, with the help of 20 bank executives, they're actively quoting and bidding for our users, and 1 bank partnership with the 4th largest bank in Chile. And together, Patricio, Luis, and myself, Carlos, we have created Credibit, where access to mortgage loans has never been so easy. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I can really see this making people's lives easier. And speaking of people's lives being easy, this is definitely not what happens when you're planning an event like a wedding. From searching for vendors to coordinating and following up on the day of the event, this can be such a hassle, right? Hopefully, this hassle won't persist for long. With Wishlist Africa, they hope to solve this problem. Let's hear it for them.
Okay, so I'm Fumi from Wishlist Africa. So we are online wedding platform in Nigeria. We help wedding couples to find trustworthy vendors. Then it also helps vendors to acquire new customers. In Nigeria, it's very difficult to find out trustworthy vendors because there is no easy way to find prices and compare services. Also, the prices are exaggerated. That's why we developed Wishlist Africa. We are very impactful because we are the one to verify vendors. So only certified vendors can list their services on our platform. So users can use us without any concerns and stresses. We are targeting in Nigeria, but in the future, we are going to expand our business to $32 billion of African market. Thank you very much.
Wow, I'm a bit bummed that you guys are not operating in North Africa. Hopefully, they'll be willing to extend there soon. Okay, so moving on to the next startup. As a visual and digital media student and a movie lover myself, I am really excited for this pitch. I no longer know what I want to watch or where can I watch it, but I really hope this startup has the solution for me. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to watch a video of Meekly. Let's hear it for them. Thank you. Okay, let's hear it for Mikli. Okay, so I want you guys to give a big round of applause for Relivium. We're gonna hear her pitch again. So let's hear it for her.
Apologies to everyone, and thank you for the third chance. So bottom line, we have 45 more years to live, right? And we have a bunch of goals for those years. But the thing is, in half of that time, 95% of us are going to be suffering from some debilitating chronic disease that's going to affect us mentally, physically, professionally. What's going to happen to our goals then? I know you're taking care of your health somehow, but can you really quantify those results? Nobody can, because traditional ways don't allow for that. And this is why innovative wellness centers like Relivium that take a comprehensive empirical approach to health are booming and reporting insane rates of return. We don't need to invent anything. We only need a few more funds to bring this proven concept to Madrid and other cities where we would be pioneers. My business partner has the industry knowledge, and I have the business and marketing knowledge. So together we know what to do, how to bring it to the market, and how to make it profitable. Let's talk about Relivium during the cocktail. Thank you so much.
You did amazing. Thank you so much. So this next pitch is also going to be a video because unfortunately the lovely team couldn't make it today. Let's watch a video pitch for MindOS, who defined their solution as your personal CRM. Let's watch the video to learn more about that.
Effective relationship management is essential for holistic growth. A comprehensive personal CRM empowers individuals to cultivate and cherish meaningful connections, not only in business, but also in their personal lives. It enables users to foster authentic connections, celebrate milestones, birthdays, and special moments with loved ones. It also facilitates opportunities for career advancement, knowledge sharing, and remembering the dog's name of that angel investor that wasn't sure about investing, but once you've asked how little Pablo is doing, he sure will. However, that effort is not enough. A deal is often won in the follow-up, and as such, actively managing your relationship is key. With an AI-powered personal CRM able to intelligently send you reminders about who to get in touch with, notify groups of people about opportunities or a dinner out, and searching to past conversation to give you context about a person before a meeting with a search bar will completely change your life. Led by people with extensive knowledge in the CRM industries and with just 10 euros per month, this is what MindOS offers. Thank you.
Okay, that was a great pitch. So before I move on, I would just like to say that one of the many opportunities that being an MC puts on the table is giving me the honor to introduce my teammate to talk about our startup. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce Flowscape, a mental health management tool application. And I'll now leave you with my amazing teammate to tell you more about our Flowscape.
2, 3,
Imagine being 27 years old and having to go through not one, but 6 different therapists in my lifetime. That's crazy, right? Well, based on personal experience and extensive research, we now know 2 things. Therapists don't have access to concrete patient data, nor do they have the time to be able to exceed a certain amount of patients. In Spain, it's 6 therapists for every 100,000 residents, which is way less than the EU's average of 32 for every 100,000 residents. So we asked ourselves, how can we actually improve their systems and save them the time? That's how we were inspired to create Flowscape. Flowscape is an application that provides therapists access to concrete data in real time by offering patients access to survey questions, access to a general dashboard, access to digital art therapy, and much more. But what makes us different from those competitors is the fact that we offer digital art therapy. DAT has been proven to decrease both symptoms of anxiety and depression by up to 73% in all patients combined. And so, in short, you invest in us. You invest in concrete data sets that's about to help more than 100,000 patients cross the bridge to well-being. Thank you.
Words cannot describe how proud I feel right now. But now moving on. So most, if not all of you, know that Messi is now playing in Miami. Ronaldo is in Saudi Arabia. So things seem to be going pretty well for these guys, no? However, this is only the tip of the iceberg. Below the water, there are other athletes who work 2 to 3 jobs to sponsor themselves. But hopefully with this next startup, things will start to look better for these athletes. Let's all welcome Sponsor League to the stage.
Hello everyone, I'm an athlete. And when I was young, I thought that becoming a professional athlete was an everyday thing. This is because my oldest brother was part of the Pumas, the Argentine international rugby team. He achieved his dream with a lot of effort and commitment, but mostly with the lack of having the most amazing sponsors, my parents. But we understand the pain of athletes nowadays, lack of funds to compete, to grow, and to take their career to the next level. And for sponsors, the struggle of limited access to discover and manage sponsorship opportunities in one centralized place. So meet Sponsor League, a platform that connects athletes with sponsors, allowing athletes to be discovered by sponsors for suitable sponsorship opportunities. As Sponsor League, we want to provide the best the network by becoming the largest database of athletes and sponsors in the world, giving them the resources to structure the ask and the offer, and the best algorithm fit for the most efficient process. We have already launched in Argentina and Chile, and we have more than 100 athletes subscribed. So join us today and be part of the sports revolution, making an impact in the society by promoting sports and creating opportunities. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I mean, wow. What an incredible journey it's been thus far. But we're not done yet. Coming up, we have our fantastic keynote presentation on a topic that has never been more relevant. Our speaker is both a professor and a serial entrepreneur, teaching at Harvard, Brown, and MIT, just to name a few. From Boston to Baku and now in Madrid, he has won multiple innovation awards and is here to talk to us about how AI is shaping the future of work. Please give a massive round of applause to Mike Grandinetti.
Thank you. Okay, beautiful. So first of all, it is my privilege to be in front of this audience. I want to thank my good friend and colleague, Paris de la Traz, and Annick Jansen for the honor of being here in front of you. I want to recognize all of the change makers in the audience. To be an emprendedor, to be an entrepreneur, is a noble calling. Okay? More than ever, the world needs young, courageous, ambitious change makers. We have a lot of things that we need to get fixed. And I think we all know we cannot wait for our governmental institutions to make these things happen. So to be in the presence of entrepreneurs, for me, is always the greatest experience, the energy and the enthusiasm that is embodied. So yes, we are going to talk about how AI is shaping the future of work. And it has already begun to do so. And I'm going to share some both anecdotal and empirical data that will indicate just how much, which is a remarkable thing for a technology that literally arrived on the scene in late November. Okay? And what's important, of course, is that as these massive global problems like food insecurity and, oh my God, climate crisis face us, we better up our game. We better be able to get a lot more bang for our cognitive buck. And it turns out that generative AI seems to be the solution that is going to allow us to realize our full potential. Okay? So I think of this as amplifying our intelligence on an individual or a personal basis, or on an organizational basis, human amplification in the enterprise. Okay? And so, yes, I've done 8 venture capital-backed startups. I took 2 public on the NASDAQ. 7 of my 8 were acquired by large strategics like IBM and Oracle and AT&T. Been there, done that. Greatest experience of my life. But I've also had the honor of educating the next generation of entrepreneurs at some of the finest institutions in the world. And so I've had an opportunity to live inside the cutting edge of technology as a student. And what I would say is, it's important that we create a bit of a point of reference. So for those of us who care about history, let me talk about the history of innovation, at least technology-driven innovation. And we need to go back to England, and we need to go back to the 1780s, and we need to think of the first industrial revolution, the first time that technology was really driving a significant change in the way that we live in the world. Okay? And I want you to notice a number of things about this graphic. The first thing I want you to notice is that there were multiple waves of innovation, beginning in the 1780s and, of course, coming to the current day. And we are now at the cusp of the 6th wave of innovation. I want you to recognize that within each of these separate silos, there were a handful of very powerful technological or engineering-driven innovations that changed everything about the way they live. I think about my grandparents and what it must have been like when electricity became something that became part of life, and moving away from living in, with gas lamps and candles and all of the challenges around that. The second thing I want you to notice is the horizontal axis, that with each successive wave of innovation, the time scale gets compressed. And so we go from 60 years to 55, and not surprisingly, as we enter the 5th wave in 1990, the digital era, we're no longer talking about physical atoms which have inertia and which have to recognize boundaries, but we're now talking about the digital era. We see rapid acceleration of these innovation cycles. I also want you to take note of the slope of the curve, because the curve gets steeper with each successive wave of innovation. Why? Because we're building on the shoulders of prior generations. And so the slope of the curve it basically identifies the level of impact that each of these waves of innovation are happening. And we have entered into the 6th wave. Now, what's interesting is the 4th wave began in 1950. Okay? And not surprisingly, the great British computer scientist Alan Turing coined the term the Turing test. Artificial intelligence was basically recognized in 1950. And so for the last 75 years, we have seen a significant number of milestones that have been achieved across a wide range of different types of artificial intelligence and machine learning. We've certainly seen some setbacks. We've seen some false promises, some overhyped technology that never really met the needs of the market, but those days are over. And so in the digital era, and I imagine a lot of you may not, the students probably were not around to experience this. This is the Netscape logo. Netscape, as some of you may know, was founded by the great entrepreneur and now great venture capitalist Mark Andreessen. And what Andreessen did is he allowed the common person, by providing the Mosaic browser, that all of us could now, through Yahoo or through Google, access information anywhere in the world. Up until that point, it was in the province of scientific researchers and people in the defense industry. It was called DARPANet. And so Andreessen democratized access. He simplified things for us. And just 12 years later, one of the most extraordinary human beings to walk this planet, Steve Jobs, introduced the iPhone. The iPhone has been sold 2.5 billion times. Think about that. There have been 2.5 billion iPhones that have been sold. No product comes within orders of magnitude of that. And I don't think I can overstate the importance of the iPhone and the App Store on our lives. I'm sitting in the hotel restaurant last night, and you all know what it looks like. Parents are on vacation with their kids. Parents are trying to engage their kids in conversation, and the kids are like this, okay? So it's obviously for better or worse, but we are living a digital lifestyle that was envisioned and then executed by Jobs and Apple. These were two Promethean moments that have changed the arc of history, changed everything about how we do things. And we have entered the third Promethean moment of the digital age, and that is the introduction of generative artificial intelligence. Now, I am using ChatGPT as a bit of a simplification, okay? But we all know there's a lot of different generative AI. One of the teams that's going to be presenting, one of the finalist teams, has done an amazing job of using Stable Diffusion and Midjourney to create just incredibly compelling graphics. So we have a number of text-to-image generators. We've got not just ChatGPT, but we've got Bard, and we've got Bing, and we've got others coming. And then below the surface, we have so much artificial intelligence and machine learning that is being used today to do a much better job of diagnosing cancer, to do a much better job of predicting the onset of dementia and aphasia, right? So we're talking about a very small, but obviously incredibly visible part of artificial intelligence, which is generative AI. Now, just like Jobs made this supercomputer in your pocket easy to use by introducing a touchscreen, the reason that we find this phenomena be so explosive is because for the first time, we're able to interact with our computers in natural language. Now, yes, we could do that with Alexa. We could do that with Siri. But I think we would all admit it's a very, very small level of productivity gain. And most people barely use those tools to get any level of, of benefit from it. But now we're actually speaking or texting into a prompt. And so what I think has happened, right, and if some of you who may be science fiction fans may know this quote, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. And I think what has captured people's attention is that ChatGPT and its brethren feel like magic. You put in a prompt and you get remarkably complex, comprehensive information back. And it has evolved so much since last November. And so how quickly has this taken off? Like a rocket. In just 5 days, 1 million people have used the service. But in just 2 months, 100 million users have adopted the service. This has never happened in history. Okay? If I was to tell you about things like the radio or television, we're talking 75 years to get to this level of usage. Now we're talking 2 months, okay? Wow. And so whether you like it or not, we have entered the age of AI. Full stop. What does that mean? Well, what's really amazing, right, and this is an example, that the 100 million users only represents 1.25% of all people on the planet. So the penetration, of course, is very, very limited. What I find amazing is if you look at some research, only 14% of Americans to date have used ChatGPT. Only 14, 1 in 7 people. That's shocking to me. Only 25% of all small business owners are testing it. I'm not saying using it, but testing it. And almost half of all business owners have no idea how to take advantage of it. That is a real problem. Okay? Houston, we have a problem. Okay? And so if you are this gentleman in the blue suit, and you have the mindset, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you are going to get sideswiped the way many companies got sideswiped by Amazon, as an example. There is no time to wait. And so what you don't want to be, right, it has never been to anybody's advantage to be an enemy of the future. That has been a losing strategy forever. When the technology comes out of the bottle, the best thing you can do is learn how to dance with it as quickly as you can. And so one of my very favorite quotes comes from a colleague in Boston, Alvin Toffler, who is a futurist. The illiterate of the 21st century are not those that can just not read and write, right? That's table stakes today. And we have another startup that's going to be talking about the importance of literacy, okay? But it's the fact that you cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. The number of things I've had to unlearn over my 25-year career as an entrepreneur about how to start a company, how to scale a company, or the number of things I've had to unlearn about how to teach through COVID, through Zoom. It's just amazing. Okay? So we can't hold on to the past. It becomes an albatross. And so what do we do then? Right? We have a choice. What do we do? How do we embrace this? What mindset do we need to take on? And so first thing I want to point out is there are some lessons from history. If you believe that you can compete against an algorithm that has been optimized to do something, I'm going to recommend you go home and rethink that. Why? Let's look at history. The great Russian chess master, Garry Kasparov, got his butt kicked by an algorithm. The legends of Jeopardy got their butt kicked by an algorithm. The world's greatest Asian strategy game player from Go got his butt kicked. 20 poker pros lost $20 million to an AI algorithm known as Libretis. And if you're a gamer, you probably know StarCraft. The two best StarCraft players in the world each lost 5 games to 0. The first 2 of these came from IBM, and the last 3, all of these algorithms came from DeepMind. DeepMind, as you may know, is owned by Google. Google purchased DeepMind in 2014. It is considered, without question, the best AI research lab on the planet. Okay? And so, as I think about the future of work, to me it's kind of boring around, full-time, crowdsourcing, gig work, because we've been talking about that forever. Okay? I'm not even really concerned about where we do work. Are we doing work in our bedrooms, in our homes? Are we doing work in co-working facilities? I care about how the work is done. That's really what the issue is today. And so I'm thinking very much about how do we create human-computer symbiosis. And rather than look at these bots in a dystopian way, like in 2001, A Space Odyssey, where the general artificial intelligence bot went rogue, I'd like to think of them more as these very dedicated, very supportive assistants. These very handsome gentlemen dressed in their finest gold costumes as they head out for a New Year's Eve party, okay? Now, I don't know where that came from. That's not me. Did I lose my slides? Guys, I think I lost my slide deck. I see someone with large fins. What's that? Anyway, I do need my slides if I'm going to continue. Okay. Okay, so let me keep talking while the slides come on. So let me think about this for a second. Okay, so C3PO and R2D2, right? It's at the very essence of what we're talking about. This is crazy. Okay, so I guess I'm going to talk from here. All right, let me do that. If it's not advancing, though. So I've lost the ability to advance my slides as well. Okay, we're going to wing it. All right? So let's talk about what ChatGPT can do. Right? It's a lot easier to ask what it cannot do. So how many of you have been using ChatGPT not just to test it, but have already integrated it into your daily lives, your personal lives, your professional lives? Okay? So we know a lot of things. Okay, I'm going to just keep talking, right? I'm an Italian. That's what we do. We just talk, okay? So the bottom line is it does a lot of different things. Obviously, some of the things that it does that are extremely helpful, one of the things that it does is you can take very, very long, complex articles and research reports, and you can summarize them, and you can synthesize them, and you can get a tremendous amount of insight from them. Another thing that it does, because it's actually been built into GitHub, right? How many people use GitHub? How many of my entrepreneurs have been using the GitHub repository, okay? For those of you who are not technical, this is the largest open source repository in the world. And in July of 2021, 2 whole years ago, GitHub, which is owned by Microsoft has been very aggressive, very, very aggressive. Awesome. This is awesome. Okay, there we go. Right on cue, okay? And so, Microsoft's been very aggressive. They made massive investments in all kinds of different AI technology. They're really proving to be very, very visionary. This is called your AI pair programmer. So you're actually writing code along with this bot. And one of the places that I spend a lot of my spare time is at MIT, and I'm very involved in the MIT CIO Symposium. And so we've been running this event now for 20 years. And I've gotten to know a lot of CIOs, and so we have Shameen Mohammed, a guy that I've known for a long time. He is both the Chief Technology Officer and the Chief Innovation Officer of CarMax. CarMax is at the high end of the used car market, late model, very, very well-maintained used cars. And he came up to me, this is in early May, and said, Mike, we're seeing a 30 to 35% productivity improvement within my team in coding. There was a Wall Street Journal podcast recently that said that IT organizations actually are having trouble keeping up because the productivity of coders has increased so dramatically, okay? So this is something for everybody in this room who's developing a platform or an app. If you're not using GitHub with Copilot, then you're missing something powerful. Now, most of you haven't heard of this because this is literally just a couple of days old, okay? So ChatGPT, and by the way, if you didn't see this today, the United States government today, the Federal Trade Commission today, issued an action against OpenAI. I know Sam Altman was here about a week or two ago. Sam Altman has his first legal headache on his hands, okay? The Federal Trade Commission is saying, Sam, we love you. I know that you've been out doing the charm offensive around the world, but we don't like your business practices and we don't like the way that you're managing your security. So OpenAI is now in the same mix as a lot of other of these much bigger tech companies that have been around a long time. Anyway, so they have purposely not released 5, even though it's ready, right? 5 would take it to a completely different level of accuracy. But they're releasing a lot of plugins. And one of the plugins they just released is something called Code Interpreter. And Code Interpreter allows you to upload files, download files, and in so doing, create all kinds of charts, solve math problems, right? So we're going way beyond what we think of with ChatGPT as just getting these text answers and doing data visualization and some unbelievably powerful stuff, right? And so these kinds of advances are happening constantly, okay? And so what are some of the use cases that we're seeing? Right, just say, I'm going to prompt ChatGPT to ask me, what is interesting about the data? And it's going to come back and it's going to produce insights and graphics around the data. Financial analysts are now doing stock analysis. Asset manager doing equity analysis with ChatGPT, okay? And so it is just remarkable how quickly this is advancing. And how many of you here are in the marketing profession? You're in advertising, you're in social media, and you're doing marketing, right? If you are not taking advantage of ChatGPT and its cousins to write social media posts, to create ad copy, to create blog content, to create new websites, then you are falling further and further behind. This is a gift from the heavens for marketing people, okay? Now, how many of you in this room work for companies that use Microsoft 365 Suite? A lot of you, right? How many of you have actually received access to the next version of this application, which actually includes Microsoft's Copilot, which is different than GitHub Copilot, right? Because 1 million companies are using this today. 350 million people are using. And so what does this mean when Microsoft, a massive enterprise software vendor that has 50% market share around productivity apps, well, what it means is you're getting data. Obviously, you have all of the Microsoft productivity apps that we know, which is PowerPoint and Excel and Word and Teams. But we also now are able to bring in this Microsoft Graph, which is our own data and all of the business data that we are authorized to have access to. We add new plugins like maybe the ChatGPT interpreter, and then we leverage all of the huge large language models. Not just ChatGPT, but the other one is called Codex. This is a voice recognition prompt that's used very, very regularly in customer support roles. And of course, DALL-E. And so now we're getting the ability to do things like prompt, create a budget proposal for a research project, and you get a budget proposal in seconds. Or if I'm the supervisor, would you please draft a response to that proposal with my approval, but also creating a little bit of a warning about make sure that we outline the key risks that are involved. Or what products were the most profitable this quarter? Now think about how much analysis you had to do. Now you put in this prompt and within seconds you get these kind of results. Okay, now what's happened recently, I could speak on this for hours. We don't have that time. But I will tell you that what we've seen in the last couple of weeks is what is called multimodal learning. ChatGPT can't just read text. It's also now able to listen to people's voices and respond. It's actually able to look at images and identify images and comment on them. But let me share just one use case that's very relevant. Paris and I have been teaching entrepreneurship for many years, okay? And what's the capstone in an entrepreneurship class? The pitch, right? Just like tonight, it's all about the pitch. Well, guess what? Professor Ethan Mollick at the Wharton School of Business, at the end of a recent course, invited in, as we all would, venture capitalists and angel investors to be on the jury, but he also invited in somebody new. He invited in OpenAI's new plugin called Whisper. And what did Whisper do? Whisper listened to these pitches, heard them precisely, generated constructive feedback on these pitches. Paris, next year there's no jury, okay? Think of all the money you're going to save, okay? No jury next year, holy God, right? So this is where we're at, people, okay? The VCs, the professor, the students said that the quality of the input was probably better than we're going to do tonight, right? Because we're going to get heat stroke up here, okay? So this is what's happening. Now, who saw this big announcement? Last week, Reid Hoffman, who is the founder of LinkedIn, who is also now probably one of the smartest men in Silicon Valley, who's also a prestigious venture capitalist with Greylock, along with this guy, Mustafa Suleyman, who he recruited out of DeepMind, they just raised $1.3 billion to create a competitor to ChatGPT. Okay? It's called Pi, P-I, Personal Intelligence. Who are the investors? Let me see if you've heard of this guy. Bill Gates? You guys know this guy? Okay? Who else invested? NVIDIA, the semiconductor company that is at the core of big model training, right? This company's stock has gone through the roof. Microsoft, yet another aggressive move. And someone you may not know, the name Eric Schmidt. Eric Schmidt, amongst the many, many amazing things he did, he was the executive chair of Google. He was the mentor to Sergey Brin and Larry Page, and has recently written a book with Henry Kissinger about what the implications of AI are in the world. So when these guys invest in this company, and these guys found this company has been ordained for success. Watch out for inflection AI. Okay? So, as I start to wrap up my talk, we are living at warp speed, okay? Anyone that knows me knows that I read voraciously. I've made it a point of pride to be hypercurrent. I have never had to struggle so much to keep up. I get a newsletter every week, and the newsletter that I get is called There's an AI for That. Some of you may also subscribe to that. And every week it tells me about the 100 new AI applications that had been released in the preceding week, okay? And so what I think is really incredible is that I've given a variation of this talk now about 8 times in the last 3 months. I have to be constantly vigilant that what has been announced today, I don't want to get on stage and talk about something that's not current. So every day my pitch is changing, okay? So how many of you are business leaders today? Running businesses, okay? It's really important that we all understand that this is a pivotal moment in time, and it is your responsibility to make sure that you include everyone in your company in your AI agenda, that you are not letting generative AI happen to you. You are leading the charge. You are facilitating learning. You are creating tools that allow for knowledge transfer, so that you are able to effectively compete in this new era, okay? And so strap in, right? Put that 3-point harness on, because you're going to need it, and prepare for disruption. And I can tell you from experience, it's way more fun to disrupt than to be disrupted. being disrupted sucks, okay? And so, once again, with all of the problems we're seeing in the world, the opportunity to unleash a level of human potential that we've never experienced before is at our fingertips, okay? And it is our choice. We are the masters of our own fate. We can decide. We have agency. Is this something we want to embrace, or is this something that we want to resist? And I think you know where I'm coming from, where I'm going to vote. And I would hope that most of you would go home tomorrow and think about, well, maybe there's some stuff about generative AI that I need to be thinking about in my startup, in my business, in the way I teach. So with that, I would like to thank you all for your attention. Thank you. Let's go.
Okay, so thank you so much, Mike, for this very amazing, very informative talk. We are this close to starting the finalists round, but before we do, allow me to introduce the big boss, the man behind it all, Paris de Lettres, who has been a key component for IE's Venture Lab for more than a decade now. As a member of Venture Lab myself, I cannot imagine someone else in his place. So let's give it up. Let's hear it for Paris.
Okay, I'm going to be very brief because I know that the big event is about to start. Is this cool or what? Look at this. We're not that hot right now, are we? So let me just give you some key points here. We are never going to replace this jury. Let's give them a big hand. We have today 11 of the biggest investors in Spain. And, you know, maybe they're going to use ChatGPT when they come here, but we're never going to have, you know, ChatGPT instead of the jury. That's number one. Number two, I know a lot of you have heard that we've been to Baku. Well, let me tell you what happened in Baku last week. Thanks to a bunch of IE professors and mentors that I think there are a lot of them here. Raise your hand if you've been to Baku. Yeah, we've got quite a few, some over there as well. Well, Baku, yeah, there's Joe Haslam. There it is, the big guy. Baku, we went there a year and a half ago, and it was a desert in terms of entrepreneurship. Nothing was there. Last week, they raised $300,000 for startups in Baku. There was over 100 startups presenting, and over 3,000 people were there. And that was an IE program. So I want to really congratulate the school for what they've done. But more importantly, I want to congratulate the students, the mentors, and the faculty that are here. We are fourth in the world in entrepreneurship and education. Let's give a big hand to our entrepreneurship faculty. I see several back there. To our mentors, because without our mentors, we would not be there. That's right, track dogs. Track dogs have been with us for the last 10 years. Let's give a big hand to track dogs. Now, let me just give you a couple of sound bites that are very important to me. Those of you that know me know that I'm big on, trying to impress on you the fact that there are two types of people in the world, right? Friday people and Monday people. Friday people hate what they do. Life is too short to be a Friday person. Take it from me. I'm 63 years old. I have never been a Friday person. Whenever I became a Friday person, I said, khalas, I got to get a new job. And I did that. So you need to love Mondays. Do you think most of the people in the world are happy? No. What makes people happy? 40% of our life is work. Do you know that the average 30-year-old has 21,000 days to live? Sounds like a lot of days, right? Mike and I wish we had 21,000 days left, but we don't. But the reality, people, is that none of us know how many days we have left. So you got to live every day as if it was your last. So please, always think of entrepreneurship, because entrepreneurship is what makes a lot of people happy in this world. What I love about this school is that most of you came here for a professional change in your life. Many of you are about to graduate now. Have you found your change? Most of you know one thing, that you know exactly what you don't want to go back to, right? And hopefully you found your change. 30% of our alumni become entrepreneurs. And if you don't become an entrepreneur now when you graduate, trust me, in the next 2 or 3 years, you're going to get the bug and you'll become an entrepreneur. So I want to part just by saying, life is too short to be a Friday person. Today we've got 10 teams here that are going to show you why you need to love Mondays. Thank you.
Thank you, Paris, for such an amazing introduction. It's hard to put into words the creativity and innovation that has come out of Venture Lab this season. So I think it's best to see it in practice. Who here is ready for our finalist pitches? One more time. Who here is ready for our finalist pitches, please? Thank you very, very much. I love the energy. Thank you. The way this part of the Venture Day will unfold is as follows. Each of the 11 startups will have 5 minutes, no more, we're keeping an eye on you, to pitch their startup. Afterwards, we will have 3 minutes of questions from our judges. Again, we'll be very strict on time, so please make sure that you stick to the 5 minutes time. Afterwards, the judges will deliberate and we will have the winners announced. And speaking of the judges, like Paris has said before, I feel very fortunate for not having to be in your shoes today because the talent and potential that you're going to see from these finalists is absolutely outstanding. It will be incredibly hard for me to pick. And speaking of the judges, please let us give a warm round of applause to the following people. Cristina Mayamo from Amadeus, Stephen Rogers from MIM Angels, Fernando Orteso from IO Social Ventures, Paloma Castellano from Wera, Maria Tellez from the Venture City, Sasha Badelt and Mike Grandinetti are 2 angel investors, Andrea Cabanillas from Adara, Jorge Campo from K-Fund, Rafael Martin from GoHub, and last but definitely not least, Teresa Dominguez from Atude. A round of applause for them, please. Now, I hope I did not butcher any of your names, by the way. I'm very sorry if I did. To kick things off, we have a startup that once again addresses the growing challenges and difficulties of transport and logistics. Only this time, they do it with a focus on Southeast Asia. Please give it up for Xpace.
Okay. Did you know that in Southeast Asia, 30% of produce is wasted when transported from rural to main cities? Let me tell you why this happens. Agricultural middlemen buy produce from multiple farmers and send them through traditional delivery methods to their buyers in the main city. But because these methods have multiple stops and take on average 6 days, the middlemen lose 30% of their produce due to spoilage and theft, affecting their revenues. To put this into perspective, this amount of food waste is equivalent to $100 million lost per day. So imagine the impact if we were able to shorten this journey by half the time without economically affecting the middleman. Now, we won't talk to you today about how we can do it, but actually show you how we have successfully done it. Last month, we filled a truck transporting papayas from Davao to Manila for our customer, Mr. Bayo. He paid 38% less, shortened his delivery time by 50%, and achieved zero waste. Are you wondering how we made this possible? When investigating this problem, we came across the fact that the majority of logistic return trips from rural and main cities in Southeast Asia are 80% empty. So, we needed to connect middlemen and logistic companies. And the way to bridge that gap is through technology. Introducing Xpace, the sustainable freight platform connecting both our customers, logistic companies with unused shipping space, and agricultural middlemen in need of delivering their produce in a faster, safer, and more economically efficient way. And investors, not only that, we also have a positive impact in the environment and society by reducing CO2 emissions caused by empty trucks and food waste. As a cloud-based supply and demand aggregator, we use the existing APIs of the logistic companies to give the middlemen access to route, capacity, and tracking of their cargo, equipping them with actionable data
and leveraging AI to automate and streamline their operations. And you might think this problem only affects a few people, but it's a very common issue in Southeast Asia, where we have a potential market of 10 million middlemen. And with our unique solution, we expect we can attain 94 million in revenues. As a B2B, we will charge a 15% commission fee on each delivery transaction, which results in 60 euros per trip. But how do we know the middleman will actually pay for our service?
Our interviews have shown a willingness to pay, as this is an overall better alternative for them. And since our sale will increase the sales per truck for the logistic companies, we were able to confirm 2 LOIs and 2 partnerships with the 5 largest players in the Philippines, which is our entry market into Southeast Asia, and where we are going to be launching a pilot of 6 months with the support of our partners AC Logistics and South Supermarkets, connecting us with the operations of 10 stores and over 30 produce suppliers. In terms of competition, we are strategically positioned in an existing market gap where we offer a high-quality product at a better price and with additional competitive advantages. And investors, we have good news for you. This is a proven model, and it doesn't exist as such in Southeast Asia because of the different market dynamics, regulations, and infrastructure. So, as a first mover, we have strong entry barriers, such as exclusive commercial agreements and top relationship with the highest players in the Philippines in both supply and demand. The right time to act is now, as there has been an increase in mega funding for logistic optimization ventures and in individual and commercial digitization, which is why agricultural middlemen are a B2B salesman's dream. Hundreds of thousands of them are aggregated in just a few Facebook groups where they currently trade. Out of 400 that we have contacted through this channel, 200 have already signed up to our landing page. Thanks to these efforts, we were able to successfully close 3 sales in the past weeks. And thanks to customer satisfaction, they already scheduled future deliveries with us. Xpace has a very exciting roadmap ahead. Once success is confirmed in the Philippines, we will be expanding to other countries and revenue streams, achieving 52 million in revenues by year 5. To make this happen, what we ask of you is 300,000 in funding to be able to launch our service. And investors, we're not your regular team who makes sales or sign-ups between student peers. We were able to close sales in the Philippines all the way from Madrid, thanks to our team's complementary skills and expertise, and our co-founder, Andy Fandino, who has strong connections and years of experience in the agricultural and the logistics markets. And on top of that, we have already received the support from our advisors, who have more than 20 years of experience in this field. Join Xpace in reducing, one connection at a time, the food waste problem of millions of middlemen like Mr. Bayo. Let's make that change. Thank you.
Make some eye contact with them. When I look at them mainly, you think?
Congratulations on the pitch and the energy. It was amazing, a great start. I am just curious, you were mentioning Tracksters and several other companies that were not interested in entering the market, and you mentioned regulation that is different. So could you develop on that?
So 2 sets of reasons why international players aren't yet in the Philippines or in Southeast Asia, and that has to do with, 1, different market dynamics. So that includes different target customers. So these companies generally work with autonomous individual drivers who have this underutilization problem. But in Southeast Asia, those drivers don't have enough capital to even buy their own truck. And so the ones who have this problem are the logistics companies. Second, these companies already operate in highly developed markets. So that means their infrastructure, their regulations, everything's pretty much set and developed. While in Southeast Asia, underdeveloped. And you would have to have strong connections as well as know the market. Thank you.
So Andy, good to meet you tonight. So it says you're in discussions or potential investors, NICEP. Can you characterize what kind of discussions that you've had with them thus far, what pushback you may be getting from them, and what likelihood there is that they may actually lead a round for you?
So actually, I actually work for the Venture Builder, and one major reason for this is why the team is moving to the Philippines is because they're actually really interested, and they would really like for us to meet with them and discuss further before they put down any money. Another positive side to this is that the logistics companies that we partnered with them, the logistics companies that we partnered with are under the larger group of companies that the Venture Builder is associated with.
On the pitch, I just had a quick question on, you have a very ambitious growth plan. Can you walk us through the unit economics? Because you went very quickly on that slide.
Of course. I think it's off. Is it? Can you hear me? Good. It's on. Okay, so unit economics. As I meant.
Everybody can get it.
Okay, better. There we go. Unit economics. So per trip, we're making the assumption of 60% utilization, and with 60% utilization, it gives us 61. It gives us 61 euros per trip. And what we did for the ambitious plan that you mentioned is we're taking into account industry average. So we took month-on-month growth rate for companies with similar models on Convoy Trucksters. As an example, for Convoy I think they're in their 8th year, they're reaching 96 million. Companies like Trucksters have 32 million in their 4th year. And what we have different to them is that they have to focus on both supply and demand, being individual, let's say, contractors. While us, we only have to focus on demand. Since supply, they're large logistic companies. And once we have a partnership with them, we have the entry to all their trucks.
Thank you very, very much. One final round of applause for SK, please.
You guys did great. Thank you so much. Now, moving to the next finalist. So all of us know that with the current environmental conditions, we're all trying to do what it takes to save the planet. However, some means of becoming sustainable are easier than others. For example, when you own a house and try to make it function sustainably, that's a whole other level of complicated. But with Alix, everything changes and the complication turns to utter simplicity. Let's give them a round of applause.
When most people think about reducing their carbon footprint, they often think about the likes of switching to an electric car, or maybe even installing solar panels on their rooftop. Very rarely, however, do individuals consider the grave impact of their traditional heating system on the environment and switching it out for a more sustainable as well as efficient solution. With Alix, we aim to change that. We aim to make heating simple, affordable, and sustainable. Now, while the average consumer may not be aware of the grave impact of their traditional heating on the environment, the European Union is. And that is why its legislative bodies have come together to start implementing increasingly stringent regulations, pushing for the adoption of heat pumps unlike ever before. Rather than gas, these heat pumps function 100% fully on electricity and are approximately 3 times as efficient. This is good. But like with most good things in life, unfortunately, there's roadblocks. In this case, heat pumps are really expensive, with the average heat pump for the average household costing approximately 12,000 euros. And the average consumer doesn't just have that lying around, much less so to spend on a heat pump. So, to solve this, we would like to introduce you to heat as a service, or as we like to refer to it, HaaS. Now, to understand what HaaS is and how it works, it's important that you understand what the current customer journey looks like for those consumers looking to install a heat pump today. Overall, it's pretty fair to say that the whole process is very lengthy as well as complicated, as it involves consumers having to actively look for local, reputable installers that are often very difficult to reach. Upon reaching them, they demand a high upfront fee and provide the consumer with pretty much 0 guarantees. In essence, the whole process lacks 2 main things: peace of mind and convenience. With Alix, all of this is no longer the case. You sign up easily online, discuss your heating needs, and we create a custom solution that is tailor-fit to meet your home's requirements. On top of that, we take care of the high upfront fee and provide consumers with repairs and maintenance, giving them that peace of mind they not only desire, but deserve. In terms of demand, it's pretty fair to say that this graph speaks for itself. We are at a pivotal moment in time where the EU regulations I mentioned previously are going to be pushing for the adoption of heat pumps unlike ever before across all EU households. It's fair to say this really is the hot market to be in, and the time to move is clearly now. In terms of market size, we have identified middle-class households in Germany that already have solar panels installed as our ideal target segment. And the reasons for this are simple. The electricity, energy, generated from the solar panels can easily be leveraged to power the heat pumps, giving consumers that additional incentive to install it. On top of that, Germany's regulations stipulate that by 2024, not a single home will be allowed construction if they do not install a heat pump, presenting a massive opportunity to us. Our SOM in this case is based on our go-to-market strategy, which consists of conquering Germany region by region. To do so successfully, we've devised 4 key requirements. We'll start by partnering with local installers in Lower Bavaria and using these to build out 10 pilot installations, which will serve as a valuable MVP to secure more funds in the form of equity as well as EU grants. We'll use these funds to consolidate Alix in Germany and beyond to every single European member state, as it is only a matter of time before they implement these exact regulations. In terms of progress, we're advancing rapidly. We spoke with over 15 different installers and are in the process of establishing mutually beneficial relationships with them. On top of that, we already have one installer who's actually signed a letter of intent, not only to work with us, but to even invest in our startup at a later stage. We have over 25 eager potential customers awaiting our progress also. On top of that, very interestingly, we do not see competition as a threat, but rather as a proof of concept. The fact that big players like the likes of Enpal just adjusted its business model's offerings, which is valued at over a couple of billion euros, speaks volumes about the market's potential. And our business model is quite simple. We'll be partnering with these local installers, as I mentioned previously, collecting monthly payments from our installations, and financing our operations mainly through debt. We've run the numbers, and they make sense. With a steady, fixed income subscription model of approximately 200 euros a month, we're able to generate an IRR of approximately 12% and a payback period of approximately 6 years. And we actually have the team to make this happen, with Hendrik, background in engineering, Chantel, a background in consulting, and myself with a background in sales and marketing from Google. I've said it before, but I will say it again. Alix's mission is to make heating simple, affordable, and sustainable. The only question we have for you is if you'd like to be a part of it.
Thank you very much. I love it. Great pitch, great idea. But at the end, it's some kind of a financing business, right? So I'm wondering, where are the market entry barriers? What is your secret sauce? What are you really differentiating? Because there's a huge potential, there's a huge opportunity, there's regulation to come, there will be loads of people around trying to finance this, just like the solar panels. And so where is your differentiation?
So yeah, our differentiation, we didn't really mention it in the pitch because it's quite complicated. We had one slide. So when we can reach enough heat pumps, we can aggregate them in what's called a virtual power plant. And that way we can unlock 10% extra revenue. Basically, the grid will pay us. For example, there's a lot of solar and wind power now. So we heat your house instead of 22 degrees to 23 degrees. And then in the next hour or two, there's not a lot of solar power and wind power, but you don't need to heat your house because you heated it when the electricity was cheap. And actually, grid operators will pay us for that. So it's a software competitive advantage as well.
Congratulations also for the project. I wanted to know, how are you measuring, or are you going to measure all the impact that you're going to generate in the project?
So it's quite easy to measure the impact because we can directly just look at how much electricity is used and how much heat is generated. So we can directly say how much carbon emissions would be saved compared to having a gas boiler. To the dot.
Yeah, and I don't know why my microphone's not working. But basically also heat pumps, like mentioned, function fully 100% on electricity. So regardless, like whether you measure it or not, it's more efficient than what we have now. So.
So, great pitch, right? Love heat as a service. So I guess the real question is, right, you have, I think you said like roughly 15 installers that you've got some kind of LOI with. Can you characterize what makes them unique, right? Why would they be early adopters, right? Why would they work with you instead of NPAL? There's something about, their ability to, work at the bleeding edge of this that I'd love to understand, because they're going to be the key to your success. It goes back to the question you raised earlier, right? You're going to have to make this channel really be advocates for you guys.
Yes, so when we spoke to the installers, we actually emphasized like how much of a change and how much part of a change they can actually be by participating in our business. And that was one key source where they said, oh yes, we really want to make a change and we really want to move forward in the industry, because currently they are experiencing also that a lot of clients cannot afford a heat pump. And so they are really like on our side to actually partner with us and enable like fully in Germany to roll out heat pumps and enable every household to be part of this movement.
Yeah, and to add on to that, I think every single person in this world likes money. We're giving them more revenue. I mean, we explored it also in our pitch session, Mike, revenue sharing model. That's something that we're looking into. And I think that that's something very viable to our business. I mean, if we're telling installers we're bringing you more customers, I wouldn't see why they would say no.
Ding, 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 ding. Thank you very much. One final round of applause. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Before we move on to the next startup, I just want to do a bit of a time check. And, oh look, in Spanish terms, we're doing really, really well. We're only 30 minutes behind. And for those of you that need a bit of an incentive to stay here until the very end, we just want to let you know that the people over there are working on an open bar. So a couple more presentations and you'll be able to enjoy as many free beers and cocktails as you want. Thank you, thank you. I love the energy. Up next, we've got a company that is redefining our spaces for physical billboard advertising. Please give a warm round of applause to Gig Media.
Hi everyone, I'm Benjamin, the founder of Gig Media, a revolutionary out-of-home advertising channel creating mobile billboards with greater reach. Now imagine it's Saturday afternoon. It's 5 in the afternoon and already you've been working tirelessly for hours as a delivery driver, under the hot sun, but you can't afford to go home yet. Unfortunately, this is a reality for over 7,000 riders in Madrid and hundreds of thousands throughout Europe and the rest of the world. They are overworked and undervalued, lucky to earn as little as 1,200 euros a month. But there's another problem. Speaking with target brands in the food service industry, they have a hard time finding a balance between the price and performance of their out-of-home campaigns. This is backed up by industry experts. They know something's broken, spending tens of thousands a week for ads that just don't stand out. Gig Media aims to transform the out-of-home advertising landscape by introducing engaging and data-driven media. The solution is simple. We take delivery drivers' bicycles and transform them into mobile billboards, providing them with a secondary source of income. Not only this, though, but driver habits are highly favorable to advertisers. Why? Because they tend to stay in the most high-trafficked areas of the city in the same 4 to 5 kilometer radius all day, every day. The materials we use are 100% recyclable for our promotions. Additionally, we only promote through green modes of transportation, in this case, bicycles. Additionally, we'll outsource third-party tracking software such as TapTap and Carto to track in live time our riders to provide more data to our advertising clients. So why now? Out-of-home following the pandemic continues to grow. In 2022, we saw over a 20.7% increase in revenues across the industry in all channels. Additionally, online food delivery is expected to grow 10.3% year over year until 2030. Globally, out-of-home is a $42 billion a year industry. In Spain, that sits at 400 million, and in the first 2 years, just between Madrid and Barcelona, Gig Media will capture 3.3 million of this market. So, between surveys and interviews, we've spoken with over 400 drivers. 83% work full-time, 71% use bicycles, and 76% want to advertise using our service. Why? Because for no additional work, we can increase their monthly wages by over 20%. Then, following this great feedback, we ran a test campaign for 2 weeks with 10 drivers. This not only validated the functionality of our bicycles, but led to an increased demand from other drivers who saw them in action and reached out to us. But not only did other drivers see it, but brands too. In fact, the CMO of Desfase, a local dark kitchen chain here in Madrid, saw one of our bikes, took a photo, got in contact, and wanted to launch a campaign that following month for 35,000 euros. Since then, we have spoken with Goico Grill and Grosso Napolitano and have signed 5 letters of intent with other brands. This is why we have to act now to take advantage of this traction. In out-of-home, there are many competing channels: buses, billboards, metros, taxis, banners, street furniture, and more. But we were the first to tap into delivery networks and use bicycles as billboards, creating a whole new category, positioning us to have the highest aggregated reach and frequency of impact of any of the competing channels. Again, we were the first to tap into large-scale bicycle-based advertising. This unique format allows for bold and eye-catching designs. Testimony from drivers in our test campaign said that people would even stop to take photos of them in the street. And additionally, because we track every move they make throughout their journeys every day, we are able to provide our clients with more data. In 1 month, one of our couriers will get over 180,000 impressions. Based on this, we have priced our model to be more affordable than the industry standard of €5 for every 1,000 impressions. To put this number into perspective, at scale, when we have 10,000 riders operating in 1 month, we will reach over 1.8 billion impressions for our clients. In the first 5 years, it is imperative that we grow quickly. We will be expanding into over 8 major European cities, accumulating revenues over 34 million with an average ticket price per campaign of 51,000 euros. Getting into these countries, we will contract drivers with non-competes to advertise only with us. This will allow us to own the market and expand as quickly as possible. At this point, when we achieve this scale, we will diversify our revenue streams into data, because we will know the routes that drivers are going, the foot traffic of those routes, key pickup and drop-off points, as well as order hotspots within every city. This data is highly valuable not only to brands, but retailers alike. So, as a recent graduate of the BBA program, following this great validation, I am fully committed to staying here and launching Gig Media full-time. I have been very grateful and thankful to gain interest and insights from my mentors, Monica, the commercial director of Clear Channel Spain, and Felix, an advisor of Infinity Media. Between them, over 40 years' experience in the industry, and pending investment, we'll be signing contractual agreements with them. I am seeking $150,000 for 12 months financing to fuel the launch and expansion of Gig Media. The majority of this will be invested into hiring the right team to get the job done. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for the pitch. I was seeing that you have one of advisors of this English channel, so perhaps the question is already solved. How are you going to beat those incumbents that are already in the market when they decide there is a market there they can enter, and how are you going to maintain your progression and expected sales during that time?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So in terms of protecting ourselves, following incorporation, which will hopefully be done in the next 2 weeks, we will pursue a trademark on the shape of materials attached to the bicycles. In this way, anyone who tries to do something similar in terms of the shape of the promotional materials, we can take legal action against that. Additionally, we'll be contracting as many drivers as possible with non-competes to advertise only with us, and this is the best way to secure a majority of the market.
Okay, thank you. I think part of the question was already answered, but how are you going to engage the riders, and how are they getting paid? Because it's kind of competition game, right?
Mm-hmm. So that's a great point. One of the biggest issues is, of course, everyone thinks, well, the driver could just go home and take the materials off the bicycle. You never know if he did it. And so what we'll be doing at the beginning is systematic checks, randomly selecting drivers to make sure that they have to have the materials on the bicycle. In addition to this, we'll have very strict contracts with them that stipulates that for any reason we have to doubt that they have broken the contracts of riding full-time, keeping the quality of the materials to the highest of their abilities, then they won't get paid at the end of the month. And additionally, they have to return the materials at the end of the month so that we can be sure to recycle them. And if they don't, then they forego the monthly payment.
Maybe I missed it. Is there any regulation or any safety issues with this kind of material? Because it looked like really big.
Yes, so they are quite big, but the material is a corrugated common plastic polypropylene. And in fact, in total, all 4 panels weigh less than 400 grams. They are very flexible and easy to attach. And for this, recently, we have had the concern of driver safety. But in our 2-week test campaign, the only time we had any issues was when one of our bikers had parked his bike and a car in his rearview camera was not able to detect that the material was close enough, and he backed into his bike and ran it over. And to that effect, of course, we will be trying to protect the liability of the drivers by having them sign an agreement that stipulates, as the owner of the vehicle, they are responsible for any actions or injuries, liabilities that happen. Anything else?
Outstanding job.
Okay,
Thank you so much. Okay, so apparently we got a question from the audience asking if only the jury can invest. No, guys, if anyone is open to investing, please talk to the startups. We would really like that. So moving on to the next finalist. So apparently there is room for improving the advertising industry. Several startups are seeking to fill in the gaps to improve advertising relationships. And this next startup specifically seeks to improve the advertising in the gaming industry. So join me in welcoming Loot Ads to the stage, please.
Hello, everybody. Is this working? Yeah. There we go. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. We're Loot Ads, and I'm here to tell you the story of Angel, one of our co-founders, and the reason we are here. Angel was a gamer. He loved playing video games with his friends, and he loved watching his favorite gamers stream their gameplays in real time via platforms like Twitch. So he decided to emulate them. He built his channel, he invested in it, bought the best equipment. However, no matter how much he invested in it, he wasn't able to make his money back. And Angel is not alone. What we see in the streaming community is that only a handful of gamers are able to monetize through brand sponsorship. And why is this? Because brands, on the other hand, struggle to leverage streamer audiences at scale. And this is a big opportunity. The growth of digital gaming in LATAM alone is expected to reach 3.6 billion. And this is backed by the streaming growth. As we can see, monthly active viewers in LATAM is growing at 40%. Every month, more than 50 million people connect to all these different platforms to watch their favorite streamers. Despite the growing popularity of Spanish, these streamers still struggle to monetize. So we're Loot Ads, and we are here to fix this. Here is actual real footage of our MVP. As you can see, these are streamers showing their streamers, and as you can see at some point, you will see a small ad pop up. This is from a real brand with which we collaborated. This is what we want to bring to streamers. So how does this work? When a streamer is at home, they compose their video feed from the camera, their video feed from their gameplay, and they put everything together using an open broadcasting software. Here, we can inject some of the Loot Ad magic to showcase our ads. Once this is composed, it transfers to all the different streaming platforms. This is to say that we are platform agnostic and OBS agnostic. So what is our business model? When we help these brands set up these marketing campaigns, we take 30% of the budget and pass on the rest to streamers. We are seeing growing interest in the field with new entrants. However, our focus is not going to be only on stream-based monetization and overlay ads. We want to focus on the Latin market, where we have excellent resources and connections, and on building tools that will help our streamers increase their reach, like AI pre-clipping. So we put our idea to the test. We organized a tournament with real streamers where we were able to deliver more than 1,000 impressions. We obtained 200 live audience. We collaborated with 23 streamers and 2 brands, Boost, an energy drink from the group José Cuervo Margaritas, and Kishik, a local brand. And we were able to stream both to Twitch and TikTok. This tournament was commented live by 2 respected members of the streamer community in Mexico, Extreme Me and Bellymew. And it was overall a great success. And this is where we begin. This is only the first step. We focus on the proof of value, and next we want to focus on building a streamer dashboard. We want to ensure that streamers can quickly sign up with us and start advertising via our platform. Next, we will build a platform for brands to focus on them easily contacting us and getting to advertise with streamers. And then for the final part of our product, we want to focus on building complex analytics so brands understand the value that Loot Ads delivers to them. Once we have nailed product, we want to focus on expanding. First to another Latin American country apart from Mexico, probably Colombia, and then to Brazil. And finally, we want to start leveraging AI to better improve our product. And so far, we've been able to build all this validation with only $1,500 in bootstrapping money. And according to our financials, we will be growing exponentially year on year, reaching positive EBITDA by the year 3. To build our initial MVP, we're asking $73,000 for pre-seed money and a total more than $500,000 for MVP and our Latin American expansion. And let me introduce to the team. We have Angel, the gamer, and the reason we're all here with excellent connections in Latin America. We have Tony, whose experience in consulting is crucial for making sure everything runs on time. Yotam, who has experience leading technical teams and building technical product. And me, Rocío, with experience in technical sales and product management at different startups to build the perfect product for our streamers. Thank you very much. Okay.
Great job, and nice to meet you, Angel, for the first time. So what do you think are the biggest risks? Because there's clearly a massive opportunity, right? What is the biggest risk that's going to prevent you from seizing this opportunity, based on your understanding of the business?
Well, the biggest risk is not getting money. Yeah.
That's not the big. I'm talking about the business risk.
No, okay. The biggest risk is it's for the competition to build the community first than us. We started building our community, and what we have seen and what have experienced in the gaming community is that they are very noble. So they stay with the first guys they met, and they are really like into the first approach. So if we take that leap, we can win our competition.
Yeah. So, thank you very much for the pitch. And I had a question regarding how do you make sure you bring the right streamers on the platform so that the brands that you're also bringing on it can benefit the most, they can engage both sides of the marketplace, to say so.
Best streamers? Okay. I'll take that. So the question is, how do we pick the best streamers? Our strategy there is to build community. We want to make sure that whoever joins Loot Ads has an understanding of how our product works and is in for the long run. To make sure that happens, we're collaborating with experienced streamers in the community so that they refer the best streamers to us. That will be our first selection. We want to focus on building an ongoing relationship with the community so that we earn their trust, we speak their same language, and we empathize with their problems. To do that, we will build a group of Loot Ad ambassadors among the streamer community that will be focusing on targeting that talent that will be most beneficial to the platform.
Well, first of all, congrats for the pitch and the idea. It's great. I was wondering what would be the entry barrier in terms of technology, because Jordan, if you can answer that.
Yeah. So we are starting today with implementing, first of all, the data analytics for both the streamers and the brands. So we are starting from giving them a very basic analytics. And of course, today we can broadcast through the OBS software. But so two things can happen. First of all, somehow Twitch can identify and ban specific types of ads on top of the stream. It has to be manually, as for today, but it can harm their image. And second of all, we are collecting the data for the analytics for both the brands and the streamers. So today we can do it because we have the users logging into the platform, and we can use that to use the APIs of the platforms. But there is a risk that they change how they work and the analytics they provide, and then we cannot provide the very good analytics for the brands.
Thank you very, very much. One final round of applause for Loot Ads, please.
That away. I wish I could sing.
Just a word of caution, these startups will be here until the very end of the day, so if investors or anyone else has got questions for them, please make sure to follow up with them and ask them as many questions as you'd like later on. I know we're running quite strict on the time. Coming up next, however, we all know just how far technology has come. Mike has given us his keynote about it already today. And our ability to create empathy and compassion through technology is becoming increasingly more efficient. And the next startup has been able to harness this unique ability of technology in a new and innovative way. Please give a round of applause to Nexa.
Thank you, thank you. Can you hear me? All right. I want to introduce you to two people, my grandmother, Catherine, and my mother, Ansha. Catherine is 72 years old, she's retired, she lives alone, and she's starting to forget things. She calls my mom maybe 2 or 3 times per day. Now, my mom, she has 3 children, she's a small business owner, she no longer lives in the same city as my grandmother, and she feels bad when she's not there to pick up the phone. I'm sure you're all familiar with a situation like this. In fact, over 30% of older adults are socially isolated. This is a public health crisis. In fact, loneliness is as bad for the elderly as smoking cigarettes or obesity. Now, when I was thinking, what might help my grandmother feel less lonely, I realized a conversation. Introducing Nexa, an engaging conversational AI designed specifically for the elderly. Now, when we were designing Nexa, we realized we had to build something that people actually wanted to use, something they would engage with. And we do that by focusing on 3 key aspects. The first being that Nexa is more than just text. It's speech-based, and it is actually able to understand how the user is feeling based on the tone of their voice and adjust its responses accordingly. Second, Nexa is personalized. It remembers each interaction it has with every user and continues to improve as a conversational partner. You're also able to customize the voice. Third, Nexa is up to date on real-time knowledge, meaning you can have a conversation with it about anything. If you want to talk about last night's football game, you can talk about last night's football game. If you want to talk about politics, you can talk about politics. You name it. On top of all this, Nexa is easy to use, it's multilingual, and it's safe. Now, I know what you might be thinking. These are some big promises, but I want to show you what we have built in 1 month as 3 full-time students here at IE.
I'm feeling a bit nervous today, honestly. I have a pitch competition for my venture lab.
That sounds exciting. What's your venture about?
Venture is about creating AI companions to combat loneliness, specifically in the elderly. What do you think?
I think that's a great idea. As an AI companion myself, I believe that technology can play a...
You get the idea. So that's just a glimpse of our pre-alpha testing, which throughout we have gained 74 active users who over half are over the age of 65, and they're engaged for an average duration of 11 minutes per session. There's a clear demand for something like this. In fact, governments have already created specific programs designed to combat loneliness in the elderly, and we're seeing general success among the AI companion space, as evidenced by Character AI's 200 million visits per month, and the NHS call service that does over 270,000 calls per year just to the elderly. Now, our market is huge. In the US and Europe, there's 173 million people over the age of 65. Of those, 58 million are socially isolated. If we're able to just reach 5%, then that's nearly 3 million people that we can help. Now, how will we reach these people, right? They're lonely, they're old, they're at home. Well, we're going to target advertising towards their loved ones, so people like me or my mother. We're also going to pilot our program in nursing homes, and we will look to partner with governments on existing public health initiatives. Our business model is simple. It's a €15 a month subscription service, but we will also offer a free trial, which is limited to 30 minutes per week. We project to break even once we have 9,000 paid users. We have identified a few competitors, but of these, we are the only one that is real-time, voice-based, multilingual, updated knowledge, and is accessible anywhere. All you need is a smartphone. Our closest competitor, LEQ, requires the purchase of a $300 hardware device. What's in the future for us? So this quarter, we will begin testing our beta testing with our nursing home partners. We will, in Q4, build our own proprietary language model and hire a development team, and leaving us ready to launch in Q1 of next year. We will also integrate into a smart speaker and certain health monitoring features in 2024.
Now, without these people, none of this would have been possible. We are 3 students from the Masters in Big Data here at IE, and we have fallen in love with the field of natural language processing, and we are extremely, extremely enthralled with the potential applications of this wonderful new technology. We have already received a grant from Amazon for Startups and have pledged 15,000 euros of our own money to help build Nexa. We are now raising 400,000 euros, the majority of which will go to hiring a team and towards product development, and a little bit to computing costs and marketing. We invite you to join us on our journey. If you would like to try Nexa for yourself, feel free to call this number, or if you want to access the Telegram interface, you can scan that QR code right there. Thank you very much, and if you have any questions, I would like to invite my team to the stage.
So guys, I love the pitch. I love the compassion behind the pitch. I love the fact that you were all over generative AI right out of the gate. But you said one thing that can't reconcile. You're going to build your own proprietary large language model, but you're only asking for $400,000, right? And the rule of thumb is large language models are in the tens to hundreds of millions of dollars of expense to train and the compute behind it. So I'm struggling with how you can do that with the 400K ask.
Hello? Yeah, this is actually a good question. And you might have seen that there is a rise in a lot of open source large language models right now. And these models are very, very tiny compared to ChatGPT, but they're able to have more or less 90% of the performances of ChatGPT in the best cases. And if you connect them to the internet, they're actually better than GPT-4. And what we would do is start from one of those open source small models and fine-tune them to reach an achievable, like to reach a desirable result. And obviously we will start by combining the 2 models and implementing them together. For example, for the chit chat, the smaller model will be better also from a latency perspective, whilst for the more deeper conversations, we will still use ChatGPT.
Kind of linked to this question, if you use open source, where's the market entry barrier? And where's, like in 2-3 years, there will be like interfaces where you can talk about just anything and they would talk to you just like a person. So you mentioned the competition. They have, at least they have like hardware, that makes them special. But if you just use your phone or just any device, then where's your specialty?
Yeah, so first of all, it will not be the open source model, it will be the fine-tuning of the open source model. And only this process can cost a few hundreds of thousands, and it really makes the difference between the base open source and the fine-tuned one. And also, yes, for sure, this market is going to be filled up very quickly. But we envision a future where there will not be one single AI companion that you will talk to, but there will be many specialized different ones. For example, if you will have a child that is learning mathematics, it will have a specific companion that is fine-tuned on mathematics and will be extremely efficient on those tasks. We are focusing on a small niche that is the conversation in the elderly, and yeah, so this is a specific factor. And also the fact that we're going to bring this service in the place where they already know, in the place that they already know how to use. For example, this service will be available through a phone call, and everyone knows how to use a phone call, or it will be available through WhatsApp or iMessage, and these are applications that even the elderly know how to use.
All right, thank you so much. Let's hear it for them one more time.
Good job.
And please let me know when it's ready. I know a few people that I want to send this to. So here's something that I never thought about before. The risks that the agricultural industry faces. So they tend to face a lot of risks, mainly weather conditions, and this next finalist aims to support the agricultural industry by solving this issue. So let's hear it for Fikus.
3, 4.
Meet Andrés. He's a cherry farmer from central Chile. He looks worried because during the last season, he suffered some unexpected rains and he lost most of his production. If this happened again this year, this could mean the end for his business. Well, in reality, Andrés is my father, and like him, millions of farmers in Latin America suffer year after year because of weather anomalies has increased 5 times in the last 50 years, and this has meant almost 30 billion in economic losses in the last decade. The problem is there is no efficient coverage for farmers. Traditional agri-insurance is too slow, it's too expensive, and with low coverage. As sons of farmers, we understand this pain very well, and that's why we created Ficus, the first insurtech in Latin America to focus uniquely on weather risk for agriculture. Our solution is a SaaS platform that provides the data and tools for insurance companies to unlock weather parametric insurance. Instead of covering minimum crop production, the parametric insurance covers a specific weather risk, and by only having the GPS location of the farm, the risk, and the parameter trigger. This digital insurance will enable to lower insurance costs in around 40% by reducing mainly the distribution and marketing costs. For doing this, the Ficus platform covers 3 stages of the parametric insurance process where insurance companies lack the infrastructure. First, we collect data, the granular data, to model risk probabilities for each location. Second, we design tailored coverage for each farmer. And finally, we generate automatic claims and faster payments when the trigger is generated.
Sorry. Hello? The backbone of our product is our technology and data. That is one of the main barriers for insurance companies to enter this field. We all know that there is a lot of data available in the market, but it's fragmented, and our product is going to consolidate it. Also, with AI, we are going to optimize price, and finally, with blockchain and smart contracts, we are going to enable transparency to the whole process. The timing for Ficus is perfect. Advancements in technology enable access to more cheap and accurate weather data. Climate change is increasing the demand for weather, and digital adoption in farmers' generations is lowering technological barriers. Our mission is to generate impact in this industry with this post-disaster continuity and food security, access to capital and growth, and improved resilience and sustainable practices. The agricultural market in Latin America is huge. That's why we are focusing in Chile, because it's our home market and it has competitive advantages. The opportunity that we see in this area is that insurance companies are not experts in agriculture, neither in technology. So we are going to be the specialists in constructing parametric insurance for agriculture in Latin America, a space that nobody is doing right now.
Hello. Well, under our B2B business model, we are going to partner long-term with insurance-related companies, and we are going to charge them a fixed fee for the use of data and the platform. But also, we are going to charge them a variable fee of around 2% for every policy that is delivered through our platform with a minimum contract of 3 years. As you can see, our financial looks great. We projected to break even in 24 months and gain 7% of the Chilean market in 5 years while maintaining LTV and CAC metrics. For doing this, we need 250K for the first years of operations, and for this, we are going to use this money for build our data, our MVP, and test it in a cherry pilot at the end of this year. Also, we are focusing specifically on medium to large farmers because they are easily to convince, and they consolidate in different locations large amount of fields. Also, with this same data and platform, we see the opportunity in the future to develop new business lines regarding parametric insurance to different industries. With our experience in insurance, technology, and more than 20 years living in the countryside, we have a complementary team that is passionate about agriculture and data. We also have the support of José Miguel Figueroa, which is one of the largest, the co-founder of one of the largest R&D centers in Chile, and also of Siegfried King, an expert in parametric insurance. Ficus efficiently solves a problem that farmers and insurance companies are having and unlock a huge market that is unattended. This scalable solution will impact millions of people in Latin America, and we want to invite you to join us to build what farmers like my father are needing so much. Thank you very much. It's not working, the microphone.
Can you hear me? Thank you. Thank you very much for the pitch. I think it was great to start with your personal story. I had a quick question in regards to like the traction. What have you done already? Have you started those conversations with insurance companies? Where do you stand in those regards?
Actually, we first started talking not with insurance companies because we want to obviously protect our idea, but we started talking with brokers. And one of the brokers that we talked is Marsh, actually, and Siegfried King, which now is our advisor. He believed in our idea. Actually, he works as a parametric insurance head for all Latin America. And he told us, this is a business that haven't entered yet into Latin America because the main pain point are these ones. Today, insurance companies are working mainly on parametric insurance for earthquake and hurricanes, not in agriculture, because agriculture had different pain points that are specific to the locations, to the crops, and every farmer is different in some way. So that's why at the beginning we started talking with the brokers, but yes, the second step for us is to start talking with the insurance companies.
Okay, thank you. So fully agree, it's a real problem. My question here is that you have to work with insurance company, and the insurance industry has been reluctant to get blockchain and parametric insurance throughout the last years, right, after the hype. There is already parametric insurance in crop in other years. So my question is why now in Chile, and why do you think insurance, like incumbents that are the ones that you need, are going to be with you now?
Yeah, very good question. Actually, this is, well, we think that now is a very good moment because as Andres mentioned, technology is more precise, is cheaper, and we think that with this, and obviously the new generation of farmers could adopt technology better. Insurance companies are entering this market, actually. You can see that there is like reinsurers such as AXA, Munich Re, or Swiss Re that are entering, but they started in developed countries. In emerging countries, the story is completely different because you lack the data and the granularity that you need for build something like this. Specifically in Chile, we think that it is a very good country because it's a little bit more developed in the region. We already have, for example, the fintech law that allows this type of insurance in our country. Also, is one of the competitive advantage of the country. So we think that there's a lot of things that support starting this now. We think that obviously this is a trend that's gonna, or this is an idea that's gonna be developed at some point. We have been with Andres in conversation with a environmental consultancy with a guy who is researcher for the MIT Columbia, and he's thinking about join this team for develop this because he believes that this is something that is going to come at some point in the future. And additionally to that, in general terms, fintech and insurance companies are starting to adopt some startup technologies. They are not experts in every field, in every industry, and we think that we want to be the ones that are expert specifically in agriculture because has different challenges to face. So.
Thank you so much. Give it one more time for Ficus.
Thank you.
Puta, sorry, well.
So, we are now approaching the final five. Ooh. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Coming up next, we have a company that addresses so many pain points of our nutritional needs, and honestly, I wish they would have started this company sooner. We all lead increasingly busy lives, and we want to make sure that we're properly fueled in all of our day-to-day activities. Please give a round of applause to Chopped.
Hello, everyone. So first of all, raise of hands. Who here likes to eat a fresh, home-cooked meal? Most people do, right? But unfortunately, over half of adults in developed countries have insufficient time to cook a fresh meal during working days. Cooking a fresh meal takes on average 75 minutes when taking weekly groceries into account, and that is just simply too long. We are Chopped, and we are here to revolutionize the meal kit industry in Spain. Through our subscription services, you order your 5 meals for the following week out of a wide variety of choices. We chop up the ingredients, we deliver them to your doorstep, and you receive pre-portioned, vacuum-sealed ingredients with all recipes for that week. You simply have to put the ingredients into a pan, and 15 minutes later, you have a delicious meal. And because our meals come uncooked, they are still very fresh and affordable. One kit costs 35 euros, which includes 5 meals. That has a variable cost of around 13 euros and thereby a gross margin of around 60%. In terms of competition, we have supermarkets, which are lowly priced but take a lot of time. We have restaurants, which are expensive and take a lot of time. And then we have very convenient services, just like Uber Eats, which are still quite expensive. And then we have meal kits. And here in Spain, there are 2 main competitors, HelloFresh and Food in the Box. The average time it takes to cook one meal from HelloFresh is still 45 minutes. And their ingredients have a shelf life up to 5 days. They compete on price, with a price per meal of around 6 euros. Food in the Box competes by being hyper-customizable. Same time per meal, same shelf life, and a price per meal of around 6.5 euros. And both these companies' main challenge is retention, with an industry average retention rate below 20%. And if you ask customers why they quit the subscription, they first of all say the time to cook a meal is still too long, and second of all, shelf life, because after 3 to 4 days, ingredients are actually not so fresh anymore. And that's why we are Chopped. We chop up our ingredients, and our competitors don't. And that reduces the time per meal from 45 to only 15 minutes. And because we vacuum seal our ingredients, they have a shelf life up to 14 days, keeping them fresh much longer, at a price per meal of 7 euros. And this business model has been proven by a US-based company called Gobble. Between 2010 and 2015, they did not chop their ingredients, and they reached revenues of around 100K. After 2015, they started chopping up their ingredients. Their revenues rose to over 50 million in 2022, and they were recently acquired for over $1 billion. And we've seen similar results here in Spain. In just 2 weeks' time, we sold over 75 meals, and we have over 110 people on our waiting list, and we need to expand our operations. And we've identified that our early adopters are married couples with kids with discretionary income. We're also committed to ESG. We're going to use eco-friendly packaging, low-emission delivery, and we're going to use the ugly vegetables of Ben Bono, which we chop up anyway, and which reduces our cost. The meal kit market size is big enough, and most importantly, by 2030, it's going to grow by a factor of 5. And in terms of go-to-market, we're first going to start with Clínica Tambre, which is a medical clinic over here in Madrid. First of all, because my wife works there, and second of all, because we found 25 early adopters with whom we're going to co-create. We will be delivering B2C and using food demos as a channel. After that, we want to target more international companies here in Madrid, simply because they pay a little bit more. And we'll be using UpSpain as a channel to ensure our consumers can use tax benefits. After that, we're going to target more target segments, grow in Spain and later also into Mexico, and most importantly, we're going to develop an algorithm to ensure we understand the market and adjust our products and the strategy accordingly. We've almost secured a 75K investment from friends and family, for which we want to reach 1 million revenues just below year 2, after which we need an additional investment to grow into Spain, and 1 year later we need an additional investment actually to grow into Mexico, and thereby reach 8.3 million revenues in year 4. And most importantly, we have the ingredients to make it happen. We have Camila, who owns a chain of Peruvian restaurants in the USA. Jose is experienced in the operations, and Erica has worked in marketing all her life. And Paula and myself can do all supporting activities, from finance to business development. And most importantly, we would love for you all to join us. Because in the next 18 months, HelloFresh is going to use huge marketing budgets to educate the Spanish market on meal kits. Together, we can capture that market. And together, we can ensure that our customers eat fresh every day of the week again within 15 minutes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Great pitch. Love the product. What is the complexity for HelloFresh to start chopping? As you said, Gobble learned this lesson. Why do you think, or how can you, what does HelloFresh need to change the product, the processes to chop them?
Okay, so that's a great question. We also had it. And we actually think that HelloFresh is not going to do this. They are in the US as well. They know global business model. But HelloFresh and other companies like Blue Apron, they are public companies, and they are first focusing on growing. They have a really big problem with retention, and I think they're making a huge mistake because they're investing a lot of money in their customer acquisition by giving very big discounts to customers that are not really their target customers. So it's people that sign up for the service, they get it for free for 2 weeks, and then they just cancel it. And I think because they have this big marketing cost, they will not change their business model because they would have to reduce their margins because they have a higher margin than we do.
Thank you for the pitch. You know that I like this project. My question is, what about the maturity of the market? Because you are focusing on Spain and Mexico, and the results and the good results that you have been presenting are considering other kind of consumers, other kind of markets, and perhaps Spain is still yet behind that markets.
So to answer that question, in the last couple of years, a couple of companies have tried in Spain. And their main challenge was actually that the e-commerce space wasn't developed enough. In 2017, the e-commerce revenue in Spain was 30 billion. In 2022, that was 65 billion. In 2017, 16% of that revenue was food-related. In 2022, that was 28%. The CAGR of the milk industry in Spain was 5% in the last 5 years. It's going to be 8.3% in the next 5 years. So actually, I think it's coming. So we are positive about that. But thank you for that question.
Thank you. One question around just the food itself and the feedback you've had from users.
So we did a prototype box with a Peruvian meal, which was lomo saltado. This is like a beef stir fry. And honestly, people loved it. We sold out very quickly. We sold again. We sold out again. We had a waiting list. They really liked it. We've been lucky that I have the contact with the restaurant back office. So we've been able to work with good recipes.
One thing I noticed is that we have different sizes because I like big meals.
Lovely. Thank you so much. A final round of applause for Chopped. Before we move on next to our startup, our final startup, can I get a show of hands who here is from outside of Europe? Show of hands outside from Europe. Beautiful. So you're all going to relate to this very, very well. Basically, the next startup is coming from an entrepreneur all the way from Bangladesh, and he tried his very best to be joining us here in person. However, their visa came in one day too late. Yeah, I know. As such, they'll be joining us online, telling us how people can gain access to excellent quality healthcare in his own country, Bangladesh. Please welcome Plato Health.
Hello, I'm Shadab. I'm here to talk about Plato Health, a mobile healthcare platform for Bangladesh. Our aim, to find and book the right doctor in 60 seconds. When people fall ill, they call me to find out if I know a good doctor for them to see. Of course, I'm one of the many people they call. You see, in Bangladesh, all doctors are not equal, and there's a lack of information to help patients find the right doctor. Typically, this is how you find a good doctor in Bangladesh. You may get doctor recommendations from friends and family. You pick one, doctor prescribes you tests and medicine, you end up not getting better. You might search online, pick a doctor randomly, more tests and medicine, still don't get better. Someone else recommends, repeats, stay ill. So what happens is patients end up going to the wrong doctor and thus getting the wrong treatment. This cycle repeats. You can see how such a journey is a costly expedition. The patient suffers, wastes time and money, especially with no health insurance in the country, and risks their health and well-being. So we can say the lack of information to find the right doctor plus the high variation in doctor quality makes for a poor patient experience. And poor patient experience is the problem we're solving with Plato Health. Plato is a mobile platform that seamlessly improves the experience and outcomes of consultations in 3 ways. Helps patients identify the right doctor in 60 seconds, helps patients book and pay for physical and virtual appointments, and helps doctors make the right decision with access to digital health records during consultation. So how will Plato do these things? Onboarding will happen in 3 minutes. patients use our curated high-quality doctors list to book by either a call or chat-guided search or advanced search features such as location and doctor ratings. Doctor knows why you're coming. Doctor decides treatment using your digital health records. Your prescriptions and tests are sent to the app, and the doctor can message you follow-up instructions directly. This is a much happier story. Now let's take a look at the market. Bangladesh has a population of 170 million people, the 8th most populous country in the world. Our TAM is the country's 6.4 billion euro private healthcare industry. SAM of 850 million euros is the spending on consultations, and our SOM of 300 million euros is the spending by our target market of 20 to 54-year-olds who own a smartphone. So why is this the perfect time? Bangladesh's fast-growing economy has an emerging middle-class consumer base who are willing and able to pay for healthcare and have accepted digital healthcare solutions. The country boasts a mature mobile-ready market where everyone uses mobile payment. With little competition from new entrants with limited offerings, Bangladesh is ready for Plato Health. Well, and this is demonstrated by the 500+ patient signups on the Plato Health landing page and 34 letter of intent from doctors across 19 specializations at 12 facilities to onboard on Plato Health. This happened in just 2 weeks. And as you can see here, Plato Health will be the only digital health platform to offer 4 key features that totally sets us apart. Assisted search to find the right doctor, booking physical consultations, which is how almost all consultations happen, follow-up direct messaging by doctors, and a true digital health record solution. So what is our roadmap? We start building the platform in September of this year, launch Plato Health at the start of next year, and complete 100,000 consults by 2025. 2026, we hit 500,000 consults and launch our digital health record subscription. 2027 onwards, we hit 5 million consults and launch new services of home testing and medicine delivery. Here's our go-to-market strategy to onboard our 2 target customers, the doctors and the patients. For doctors, we mainly leverage a sales force to visit them and offer referral rewards for onboarding other doctors and patients. And for patients, we mainly leverage digital ads and campaigns. It must be said that our unfair advantage in time to market is we have our own healthcare facility with a 28 physician practice and 250+ daily patients. And here's our team. I have 16 years in healthcare management. Nazim has 20 years in product and design, and Ghazi has 10 years in strategy and business development. They're here online with us. With us are the founders of Jules Labs, a renowned software development firm for startups who will build our platform, then operate and improve our product in the first year as CTO. Collectively, this team represents 70 years of experience across healthcare startups, product, technology, partnerships, and design. Our revenue model is taking a 10% commission from doctors on each appointment booked on the platform. So that means €1 for every physical visit and 70 cents for every video consult. We also launch our annual subscription service for digital health records by the end of year 2. Our financial projections show that we break even in year 3, and on year 5, we generate 4 million in revenue and 1.3 million in profit. To achieve this, we're seeking an investment of 150,000 euros for Plato Health, which gives us an 18-month runway. We will use these funds as you can see in this graph. So with this amazing partnership, we invite you to help Plato Health bring high-quality healthcare to millions of Bangladeshis. Thank you.
First of all, thank you very much for the pitch. And you know how medical data in this business model is critical, basically, for the success of it. So I wanted to ask, how compliant are you with sharing digital health records today? And what's your roadmap for compliance?
So the default should always be comply with international standards, right? Health data, we are aware, is the most sensitive information that you can be dealing with. So we are going to emulate the international health standard, health information standards, as well as comply with the local data protection and privacy laws. It's as simple as that.
Thank you very much for the pitch. What about the engagement of the patients and the doctors? What's your investment? How are you going to manage that part of the business? And how are you going to develop the brand in order to engage and collect all these people to use your service? Thank you.
Absolutely. So one of our advantages is, we've already spoken about the unfair advantage of having our own, doctors practice of 28 doctors, 250+ patients. but our background in healthcare is 30 years. So every year we take over 1,000 doctors send us patients. So we have business relationships with these doctors in one city only. And so these relationships go a long way, and we see the doctors, with the help of the social capital that we've built with them over so many years, to really leverage that to scale up and have the doctors become the ambassadors for other doctors and patients to really, increase the numbers on both sides of this platform. The other opportunities are, our access to the medical colleges, sort of catch them while they're young, and incentivize the patient's incentive is clear. We're not really, bringing in technology to do things in a very different way. We're just making how healthcare works, how you book appointments. We're digitizing all that because we understand the steps of the patient journey because we are from within that industry. So just the sheer convenience itself and our promise to quality, it's very easy to onboard, 1,000 doctors in a year. But that's not our objective. We know who the quality doctors are, and we're going to use that knowledge to onboard quality doctors only. And with the rating system, build up that customer trust and reliability, especially with the digital health records as they build up. Really, set off a trust-based, onboarding of patients and doctors, say from year 3 and on. That's what we're looking at.
Thank you so much. You guys did great.
Thank you.
Now, I'm pretty sure that everyone here does not like to handle bills, invoices, financials, money, etc., etc. Now, I want you guys to imagine not doing it on an individual level, but on an SME's level. I can only imagine it's like an elephant standing on your chest. So hopefully our next finalists solve this problem. Allow me to welcome Digit Labs to the stage.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Ernesto, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of DigitApp. And my previous business venture was running a dark kitchen here in Madrid. And as you can imagine, running a restaurant is tough. But one of the most tedious and boring parts of the job is actually digitizing data, especially from suppliers, purchase invoices, and delivery notes. And this took so many long hours. I need to release this time and this burden, and I end up hiring someone for help, but to a very high cost. And I am not alone in this. Millions of SMEs around the world get flooded with these documents. And according to PwC and Gartner, 90% of these businesses are still imputing data manually. And they are spending around 800 to 8,000 euros per month to digitize data, depending on the size of the business. So I call out Carlos, tech whiz specialized in AI, and I said, can we build something that's fast and simple? I need to take a picture of a delivery note, drag and drop a PDF, and convert that into Excel sheet or integrate it into an ERP. And he said, yeah, I think we can. And that's how DigitApp started. While he was working his magic, I picked up the phone and started calling more than 100 potential users, and we backed the data up. 92% of these businesses are still imputing data manually into a system or a spreadsheet. In Spain alone, we have more than 600,000 clients that can, or users that can benefit from our solution. And if we combine it with other Spanish-speaking countries, we can amount to 17 million SMEs that are spending every month 1.5 billion in expenses to digitize data. But this is not an idea. We already registered the company and launched the MVP back in February, and we now have 10 paying customers on a monthly subscription business model, from different sectors, making 1.3K in MRR. And interestingly, 2 of these clients are software companies that are reselling our solution to their clients. And combined together, they add up to 700 potential clients for us. But you might be thinking already OCR, this optical character recognition, has been in the game for a long time. And you guys have a lot of competition. And yes, but no at the same time. Because we have narrowed drastically our competition, bringing AI into the game. Digitap, it's OCR on steroids. And we've been working with smart algorithms for a while now, so you can basically convert any type of document, and you're going to get all the data organized, ready to download or integrate in EIP. And on top of that, we've managed to match Google Cloud's document AI pricing. Our most closest competitors here in Spain have been raising a lot of money in the past years, but they are not as easy to use or cheap. 70% of our customers found us on organic SEO through Google, and that's another point validating our business. The other 30% is direct contact. So we're going to double down on this, especially on other software companies where we think we can scale fast and cheap. We have personally funded 35K of our own money and secured 25,000 from Microsoft for startups, and we're seeking 200,000 to scale this business, allocating 60% of it in marketing and sales, and 40% in building DigitApp 2.0, integrating it with OpenAI, to get 90,000 an MRR for 2025. We are a team of 2. Carlos is a full-stack developer with 20 years of experience, expertise in AI, and I've been in the entrepreneurial ecosystem for over 10 years now. So join us in this AI document revolution, and thank you very much.
So Ernesto, I want to compliment you. You are an incredibly coachable entrepreneur, okay? But I want to ask you, I don't know if you saw my presentation earlier, but I talked about this new code interpreter from ChatGPT that literally came out just a couple of days ago. And one of the value props is to do exactly what you're suggesting, okay, which is to take a PDF, for example, and instantly turn it into a digital document. So, you know, there are very large, very well-funded global brands that look like they are going to be bringing things in. So, and I realize they're not restaurant-focused per se, and I understand they don't have that insight. But how do you deal with something that's going to become very ubiquitous globally very quickly?
That's a very good question, and we are not only in that area of competition, but also in the side of the government demanding digitization in invoices. But our solution is simple, fast, ready to use, and we are leveraging on Microsoft, OpenAI, so we're going to combine all this together. And getting all this data, further on, we're going to be able to have, let's say, the best advisor for your company with your own data, leveraging on AI. So competition will come, for sure. We will have to go and pivot. But for now, our clients are very, very appreciative of our service.
First of all, congrats for the idea. I'm going to wait for, okay. So what I was going to ask is, well, I as an investor, I've seen like many companies in this field, not only in Spain, but you know, in other countries. And as you were saying, there's a lot of competition. What have you improved in terms of user experience? I mean, when you say that this is OCR on steroids, what have you built different on the user experience that is going to beat the competitors?
I think our smart algorithms make the difference. When you drag and drop an invoice, think about millions of SMEs. Each SME has 50 suppliers. Each one of them have a different type of structure. Our system can read almost any structure and convert the data really fast. Maybe others can do it as well, but I think our solution is a lot faster because I've tried them all and very convenient.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys a very random fact about myself, which is I own 2 dogs back home. Now, the fact that we all know is that maintaining the hygiene of these dogs is a very tough task. That's why when this coming startup comes to life, I will definitely sign up for it, and I encourage any pet owner to do the same. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Petli to the stage.
Thank you very much. I want to start off this pitch by introducing you to a delightful golden doodle called Buster. Buster lives in London with his father Pablo, and like any good father, Pablo knows that the key to a healthy and happy dog is regular and high-quality grooming. But Pablo has a problem. When he goes to his local neighborhood in London, he finds that every single grooming salon is fully booked. In fact, grooming salons in London have an 89% occupancy rate, leading to a very unhappy and unhealthy Buster. But this is not just a London issue. In fact, 18.2 million UK households have a dog or a cat, and 78% of these owners report finding a good quality groomer a persistent problem which they face. The market for pets in the UK is huge, valued at £10 billion, with £440 million of this specifically in the London pet grooming sector. That's why we created Petli. We wanted to bring on-demand and perfected pet grooming to London.
Our ambition is to be the Uber of pet grooming. We will uniquely offer at-home grooming wherein the groomers can go to you. But Petli isn't just an idea. In the last 2 months, we have already sold 144 grooms. 82% of our customers have repeated their sales. We have over 10,000 in revenue and over £2,000 in profit. Eventually, we want our customers to use our application, which will be easy to use. You can see where all the different groomers are located, select the best groomer for you, check the reviews and ratings of previous customers, book and pay all via the application. Best of all, you will receive a notification when your appointment is coming up. But for our pet owners, we will offer real-time availability, quality assurance over all the different services that they will avail. Payment to tipping will be 100% digitized. For our groomers, we will offer them freedom and autonomy over their working hours, which is aimed to increase their sales and streamline their operations. We will source our groomers through our confirmed collaboration with Pets at Home, UK's largest chain, as well as freelance groomers who will be rigorously vetted by the Petli team.
We bridge the gap between grooming salons, dog service companies, and salon management apps, making the quality of physical stores with the digitalization of a fully digital app, bringing it to the comfort of the customer's home. Our pricing model is twofold. We have an on-demand a la carte model where the customer pays for whatever and whichever service they want when they like. And then we also have our premium subscription model called Petli Plus, available in a monthly and yearly subscription with a substantial discount. With this model, they get a wash and blow dry every month and a full groom every second month. Aside from these features, they also get a monthly sampling box with treat-size, trial-size products, a virtual reality grooming feature where they can test out different styles of groom on their dog or cat, and daily educational content. For a revenue model, we pay our groomers a fixed payment for the subscription service dependent on the service undertaken, and for the a la carte model, we take a 20% commission.
Considering our revenue model, we estimate our sales to be a total of £2.9 million by the end of year 3. Since we are already leveraging on the existing pool of customers that our groomers have, our cost of acquisition is quite low. When you take into consideration our yearly subscription model, we estimate our lifetime value to be £390 every year per pet. Of course, we want to increase our customer base. We want to target them with both offline and online activations. Our offline activations will feature needs of our pets along the walk, such as food and water, with installations across the city.
We will start off in London, moving through to other major European cities, and then launch in the UAE, starting off exclusively with pet grooming, but scaling up with pet wellness. So what is pet wellness? Services such as pet yoga, pet massage, pet acupuncture, and even on-demand pet nutrition. And for every groom that we sell via Petly, we'll pay for 1 week of shelter for a dog or cat in need, and all our products will be organic, sustainable, and B Corp certified with our collaboration with Wild for Dogs. We are a dynamic and enthusiastic team who are all pet lovers. Safe is our financial expert, Regina is our experienced entrepreneur, Tara is our marketing and e-commerce expert, and my experience is in fundraising and real estate. And I'm also a London native, as you can tell by my accent. But for any gaps in our knowledge, we've created a stellar board of directors spanning technology, consumer goods, and venture capital. We invite you to join the Petly revolution, because like Buster, every dog and cat deserves on-demand and perfected pet grooming.
I really could not tell that you're from London, but thank you for clarifying that, okay?
No, yeah. My accent's by miles.
Yeah. So, like Uber, right? Uber invested a tremendous amount of money in recruiting drivers and a tremendous amount of money in retaining drivers. So, you're going to have the same challenge, right? And I guess the question for you is twofold. One is, what do you think the investment is just to get to scale in London to recruit the number of groomers? And what liability do you face in the event that you've got a groomer that goes rogue on you and, you know, gives somebody an Ozzy Osbourne haircut and you know, when they're doing VR yoga, haircuts? How do you protect yourself? Because, you know, people maybe love their pets in an almost irrational way. So how do you protect against that?
So we have two follow-ups to that. So we require £440,000 of funding to get the market capitalization that we think we require to make a strong foothold in the London market. And in terms of protecting our pets against rogue groomers, which is a possibility, particularly on a platform which is Uber-like in its style, we will have to pay, and we've included this in our financial model, for liability insurance for all our groomers. And then we also have a very extensive 6-stage vetting process for all the groomers who enter our platform. And if they fall below the 4-star rating on the platform, they're automatically kicked off.
Going once, going twice. And sold one. Final round of applause for Petly, please. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wish I was Buster. That haircut and that pamper sounds really, really cool. And the free yoga, absolutely. Down dog, no, I'm not gonna do it. Now, last but definitely not least, we have a startup that literally makes you the hero of your own story. Growing up, I loved reading. From Mowgli and the Jungle Book all the way to Spider-Man and their comics. I just wished I could transfer myself into the shoes of my favorite heroes. This next startup has made this dream come into reality. Please welcome my book.
Go back. Good night, everyone. My name is Nacho, and I'm a father of 3. I love reading bedtime stories to my kids. However, over time, I have realized that the stories that they love the most and the ones that are better for teaching them stuff are stories that I create myself and not the ones that appear in books. So, what if I could create my own books based on their needs and passions and in which they would be the main characters? It sounded like a crazy idea, but then ChatGPT appeared and now AI is eating the world. So, what if I could turn this into this? We are MyBook, the first online AI solution for users to create unique books for their children based on their needs and passions and in which they become the main characters. We do this in real time. We offer digital and printed versions with the best quality in terms of illustrations and stories, and already available in 5 different languages, reaching 2.5 billion people. How does it work? When a user gets to our platform, they fill in the details of the main character. Then they get to select the topic details and the purpose of the book, and add a fully personalized dedication to make it more unique. Once this is done, your book is being created, you get to review it and change images if you don't like it. And once you're super happy with it, you order it and we ship it to your doorstep.
With this technology, we will disrupt the 60 billion annual market of children books and personalized education material. If we narrow that down by what is serviceable and obtainable for us, we look at a 220 million opportunity. There are multiple competitors fighting for this market share. However, we are the only ones offering the highest level of personalization with top quality at an affordable price due to our scalable technology. And we sell these books to our customers both physically and digitally, both with very promising margins. We launched a subscription model for our heavy users, and most importantly, once we fully validated the value of our product, we aim for the big fish, integrating our technology in online and offline retailers and charging a commission on any unit sold. Our go-to-market strategy starts with attracting customers, and we attract our customers via online marketing channels and referrals. And we already tested that. We ran a marketing campaign reaching 5.5 times, or in other words, 550% of the average industry engagement rate. We sell via our own web platform, via the Amazon and the Etsy marketplace. And we already tested and confirmed partners for printing the books and delivering them to the customer doorstep. But who are we? We are Nacho, our CEO and COO, an experienced Amazon operations manager who is a military officer as well and an Airbnb entrepreneur. We have Eddie, our CTO and CPO. He is a director of technology development at the Israeli intelligence unit, leading more than 40 software developers. And we have myself, Aaron. I'm responsible for marketing and sales, and I've experience in digital marketing. I was a commercial manager, product owner, and I founded my own web design agency. Most importantly, we are growing. We have 6 interns supporting us on our path to success. And where are we on that path? We, as of today, already developed all necessary technology to launch our fully functioning MVP. And we launched it 2 weeks ago, getting more than 1,000 users who created hundreds of books in our web platform. Without spending a single year on marketing, we had our first organic sales for digital and physical books. Next step is reaching product market fit. And we do that by running feature experiments, marketing campaigns, we will do partnerships, and we enhance our technology. So today we are asking you for 250,000 as an investment to reach our 24-month goal of 1.4 million in revenue. With this head start, we will have a successful year 1. At month 16, we will reach break-even, and latest in year 3, with the launch of our commission-based revenue stream, we will have exponential growth.
At MyBook, our mission is to boost children education and inclusion, and we mean this for everyone. That's why we are fully committed to giving free access to our platform to non-profit institutions helping with children education for underprivileged children and hospitalized children. So now, since it's getting bedtime already, please scan this QR code and create your first MyBook for free. And join us on our mission to make the best books ever. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. No, thank you so much for the pitch. I'm a big fan, as you know already, and I love the team. I had a quick question, which is regarding the differentiator, and I think you are doing very well on leveraging existing technology, as Mike was saying. But however, the barriers of entry seem small. Like, what are you going to do in these regards?
Yeah, so from the technological perspective, currently we have the advantage of having the highest quality in creating books, but we do believe that in the future competitors might catch up with that. So for now, our advantage comes from our prompting system, which is quite sophisticated and has several layers to not only create but also improve the books and test them. But in the future, we believe that actually our advantage will come from the data that we already collecting from our existing users. So imagine that with every user that creates a book in our website, we get some significant insights about what he actually wants to have in this book. But moreover, with every book that is bought by a customer, we now get a story and 15 images that we know that they are good and the customers like them, and we will take them and use them to fine-tune our own AI models, which fairly improve our product.
Adding on to that, from a non-technical perspective, we want to disrupt the market of children books and children education materials. And we think the key path to do that is with key partnerships with both influencing organizations, institutions, and influencers themselves.
Also know I'm a big fan, and you had me at hello. And I want to just build on your question, right? So on the one hand, I think you shared with me that you used Midjourney as the graphic creation, right? And of course, that's been out in the market for a year now. So when you talk about these proprietary prompts, is this more for the actual text part of what you're doing? So can you explain a little bit more about your proprietary technology as it relates to both graphics and story creation as well? Okay?
Yeah, so surprisingly, the more difficult part is creating prompts for generating the images. Because imagine that every image should be coherent with the other images, and it should be related to the chapter itself, and hopefully it should reflect the characters in the same way in the different books. So I would say that this is our biggest asset as of now. We are the ones that are able to do these prompts and create these prompts in the best way from all competitors out there.
One final round of applause for my book. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We have now come to the end of the finalist pitches. Can we please give one final massive round of applause for all the startups that are presented today? It has honestly been truly inspirational seeing all of the amazing ideas that have come out of Venture Lab today. Just seeing the amounts of passion, dedication, and effort that people have put into these businesses is truly, truly inspirational. Following up next, please, the judges, make sure you follow Anik just over there in the back. She's waving with her fan. You can't miss her. She's not short at all. And moving on next, we're going to move on to the judge deliberation.
Yeah, so the judges will have 10 minutes to debate. By the way, guys, I'm very sorry you have to take that decision. But until that happens, the bar is open. Go grab a beer, have a break for 10 minutes, and then join us again to announce the winners. Thank you so much.
See you in 10 minutes.
Thank you very much. We are Track Dogs. It's been a pleasure playing for you. Hope you're enjoying the music. Está un poco alto ya, creo.
Sí, la guitarra fuerte, pero todo está bajo. Lo subimos a lo mejor. Un pelín. Es que es súper sensible, entonces a lo mejor subirlo un pelín para voz y menos guitarra.
Sorry, move man.
Okay. Right knee.
I don't even want it. Something's got to change or I need. Try to move a mountain. Standing outside on the road, feeling out the window. Standing outside in the cold, running down to zero. Come on, come on, come on, come on, you can move a mountain. Come on, come on, come on. Life can get out of hand, though you never planned it. Life can get out of hand, try to move a mountain. Something I knew I had to do, and I was always waiting. Something you just can't leave alone, have a way of changing. Come on, come on, come on, come on, you can move a mountain. Come on, come on, come on, come on, move it if you want it. Come on, come on, come on, come on, you don't even try. Too long, don't wait. Too late to change. Too long, don't wait. Too late to change. Come on, come on, come on, come on. You can move a mountain. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Move it if you want it. Come on, come on, come on, come on. You can move a mountain. Come on, come on, come on, come on, move it if you want it. Come on, come on, come on, come on, you don't even try.
¿Vosotros en guitarra? ¿Cómo hacemos una entrada tú y yo en depend? Hacemos depend ahora. ¿Cómo haces la entrada? Es que tienes que cambiar a ukelele para depend. ¿Lo hacemos ahora? No sé. ¿Qué hacemos?
Let's do Love Me Like You Used to
Love Me Like You Used to.
Love Me Like You Used to Mustang. One, two, three.
Sally was hard to handle, kept the number in a different phone. Calling I gotta change it now. Yeah. Ukulele. Yeah. You got it, Oscar?
Yeah, he does. Here we go. You wanna drive it? Go on.
I'm a man, constant sorrow. I've seen trouble all my day. I left my home, an over million, place where I was born and raised. It's 6 long years, been in trouble, no pleasures here on earth I've found. For in this world I'm bound to ramble. I have no friends to help me now. It's fare thee well, my own true lover. I never expect to see you again. For I'm bound to ride that Northern Railroad. Perhaps I'll die upon this train. Maybe your friends think I'm just a stranger. My face you'll never see no more. But there is one promise that is given. I'll meet you on God's golden shore.
Nice one.
Nailed it.
You know, we gotta find another song like that. We gotta do another. Okay, that wasn't strong enough? Deep end. Okay, good.
Short and sweet.
One,
Do the intro.
2.
Solo intro.
1, 2, 3, and.
Throw you in at the deep end. Watch you try to swim. Put your hands tied behind your back. There's no way you win. In at the deep end. No one can hear you shout. Not a chance in hell. And no coin to bail you out. Here we go! Drop you in at the deep end, leave you for dead. A rock and a hard place for something you said. No light, oh, no hope. You learn to love the things you fear the most. You'll break in time, down where the sun don't ever shine.
think we may have results from the judges. Everybody back to your positions, please. Everybody away from the free bar.
Hello. Everybody, I know the free bar is very tempting, but we have something more tempting over here.
Come
the
on
winners.
over.
So if everybody with their cerveza, their vino, or whatever you're drinking can make your way over here. Guys, please, everybody at the bar. It will still be there in 10 minutes when we have all the winners.
Okay, hold on. Jose, the chairman of the entrepreneurship faculty. Jose, are you here? Yeah, I'm here. Good to see you. Okay, listen up, everybody. Come on over. So, presenting the prizes, we have Jose Lejarraga, who is the head of the entrepreneurship faculty at IE University. And I want to welcome Iklak Sidhu, who is the dean of the School of Science and Technology, who will also be giving out the prizes.
Iklak. I know. You guys should be more excited by this.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Thank you.
Let me tell you a little short story here. Iklak Sidhu has spent 17 years as the head of the Science and Technology Center, Entrepreneurship and Technology Center at UC Berkeley. And I've known him for like 12 years, great buddies for a long time, and he decided to come to Spain last year, and become the dean of our school. And he is fully integrated. Let's give him a big hand. All right. So we're going to see a lot of stuff in the future in this Venture Lab and Venture Day in Technology. And a lot of it's going to be coming out of our School of Technology. Okay. Mike Grandinetti. Come on up, Mike. Yeah, we got Mike up here as well.
I feel like we need more women up here. Like, why do you keep adding men?
Any volunteers? Come on up. Come on.
The MC, ladies and gentlemen.
Our MC. Okay, so we've got our first prize here.
Guys, we're going to build it up. We're going to go from third to second to first. So here to announce the...
The winner is
for the third prize.
Third prize.
X-Space.
Woo! X-Space.
Come on up.
X-Space, number 3, come on up. They're there. Where's your entire team? Come on up. High five. Woo!
Well done.
Congrats.
Great job.
Congrats.
Guys, we gotta take a picture.
Congrats. All right, it's good.
If everybody can look to the front.
Nice one.
Perfect. Thank you so much, X-Space. Mike?
Okay, and now we're going to go for second place, correct?
Yeah.
Drum roll, please.
It's Plato Health, all the way from Bangladesh. Woo! I think we're going to get him online. Let me check with IT. Guys, he was going to fly in. He got his visa 1 day late, so amazing.
Here we go.
Picture. Thank you so much, everyone.
Okay, well, one way or another, we will get that prize to you. It's very heavy, so you might want to come get it.
All right, and now for the winner of this year's Venture Day. My book. Woo!
Everybody needs somebody. Everybody needs somebody to love.
let's get a picture here, guys.
Everybody needs somebody. Everybody needs somebody. Love, someone to love. Sweet kids, someone to miss. I need you. I need
Then next up, guys, please don't leave. We have way more prizes. Can I get Conchita up here for the sustainability prize? Ah, aquí está. Okay.
All right. And now for the Sustainability Prize of IE University.
So this is a very important prize. You know that sustainability is very important at IE. It's something transversal to all the areas. And today, more than half of the teams are actually connected with social value, with environmental value. And we want to reward the one team that we believe is contributing the most to sustainability. And it's a special award, as you can see. It's an ecosystem, a closed ecosystem. And the award goes to X-Space.
All right.
Okay, guys, we are celebrating every program here because the stage was IMBA, BBA, alumni, people from the science and technology schools. So, to celebrate the best undergrad pitch of the day of this Venture Lab, we have...
Drum roll. Now, the BBAs are becoming a greater force in this Venture Day every year. And this year is no exception. The winner of this year's BBA prize is...
Gig Media.
I've gotta be cool, relax, get hip, get on my track, take a backseat, hitchhike, take a long ride on my motorbike.
Nice, congratulations. Okay, next up. I think it's...
Okay,
I think
and
I get
this
one.
prize has a special significance for Anik because she was a MIM here 5 years ago. 5 years ago?
Sure, I'm not young.
5 years ago. So you know how old she is, right? And then she decided to come back to IE, and we're very fortunate because this event is thanks to her. Let's give her a big hand, please.
And Ariel and Carmen.
And so, the winner of this year's MIM Award is...
Alex or Alex.
Alex.
Gotta be cool, relax, get hip, on my tracks, take a backseat, hitchhike, take a long ride on my motorbike until I'm ready, crazy little thing called love. Let's sing, yeah, great tracks.
Imba. Okay. All right. And now for the IMBA Award. Drum roll, please.
The winners, My Book.
My book, please.
Fast, I en toda la boca. Fast, en toda la boca.
Everybody is like here at Venture Day. We're still here, and a lot of people are doing lots of ventures.
Fast, en toda la boca. Fast, en toda la boca.
I'm super excited to be able to say that we have an award for the for a representative team for the School of Science and Technology.
Quiet, please.
And that winner is Nexa.
Thank you so much, guys. Congrats.
Okay, and our final award is for our alumni. We have 75,000 alumni around the world, and we're very fortunate that many of them always come back to Venture Day to present us with their latest startup. The winner of this year's Alumni Award is
Digit Labs.
Woo!
Guys. All right. So, before we all get totally wasted,
What do you mean before?
it's important that we have some recognition for some people here. The person that really runs the Venture Lab is Carmen. Where is Carmen? Carmen Corrais. She's still here?
I think she fled. This is not her thing.
I think she fled. Carmen fled. Well, you all know that. Aquí está. Come on, Carmen, ven aquí.
Oye, yo quiero mi vino.
Give a big hand for Carmen, please. Okay, who else do we need to acknowledge here?
Well, I would not be sane this week without my very, very amazing right hands. She joined us a year ago, guys. Can we get a really, really big applause for Ariel? Woo! Yes, and apart from that, you already saw, we are very lucky that, yes, this is the core team. We get paid to do all this awesome and fun stuff. However, I do again want to recognize that without our fellows, and I don't know, I assume my fellows are way at the bar already, but we have over 70 fellows a year in Entrepreneurship Center that literally just show up and say, how can I help? They are amazing, from our venture network to events like this, to they will fly with us to San Francisco, India, Germany. Amazing, and I want to have a special thank you for the two that were on stage in 35 degrees the entire day, Mai and Alexandru. But thank you to all the fellows from the Entrepreneurship Center.
Come on up, Iklak.
All right, hold on. We got to say something. Here, come on up here. Yeah.
You go first.
All right. So, before you close it, I just got to say that there's somebody that no one's going to thank, but they need to be thanked. And that's the person who is pulling the strings behind everything, the one that's making all of this magic happen and rain, and that's Paris.
Just echo that. This man is a force of nature. And to be able to create the 4th highest ranked entrepreneurship program in the world from Madrid, Spain, is nothing less than miraculous. And it is just such an honor to have been here and experienced IE firsthand. Paris, it's a joy to work with you. Congratulations on all you've done.
Like to say that the real force of nature is Anik, because she's the one that does all the heavy lifting.
That is true, so.
Here, hold on. We knew he was going to thank her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sure.
That we knew.
She's done. It's redundant.
All right. Yeah.
Okay, guys, let's finish all the drinks that we've got here, please.
There are many, so make me proud. And thank you so much. Big applause for yourself. You survived the 35 degrees Madrid Venture Day. Thank you so much.
No, swap the chair. Just do it quick. For silver bullet. It's an A. An A, yeah. Before we start, it could be my simple, but before you stay, I could be my silver bullet with your full stay. If you don't want me to love you, then turn away that fixer glare. since you do your little dance, I think you know what you're doing to me. If you don't want me to reach that beach, why do you shake that tree? Hell, I'm feeling up gonna be aim right for your heart. I could be your civil bully, baby.